can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. Through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. Through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence.
Africa TV Freak Up Studio live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
What is up, everybody? Is my mic on? Do you hear me? Check, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Okay, I am on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another day of the GSL Code S. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Sorry, I got
okay.
thrown off by my mic levels there.
Sick.
Sorry. No, but it's good to be back here as we continue on here in Code S.
Yeah, this is the last day of the round of 16. We're going to be having that round of 8 bracket. By the end of it, it should be interesting to see who ends up going through. This is a group of 3 Protoss and our final Zerg. Zerg's not doing as well here into the round of 8.
No. And I do think this is a group that's pretty difficult to call.
Yeah.
You know, PvP, there's a lot of volatility in the matchup. There's a lot of different ways the games could go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, I do appreciate it when we do get a very matchup-heavy day where we really can do like a deep dive and kind of unpack the ins and outs of where it is right now.
Yeah, and I agree. I generally do like that type of day, but unfortunately for you, Tasteless, SOS is in this group, so probably not a whole lot will make sense.
Yeah. I'm always a fan of SOS games, though. And on that note, by the way, you know, as great as he's been, he hasn't really been performing as well. He still brings out amazing games from time to time, but it doesn't appear like the SOS, you know, insane style has been as effective as of late.
Yeah, like he didn't make finals or anything lately, so it's not looking as hot for him. Here you see our bracket in the round of 8 so far.
Got the rogue side and then the one that might be harder to call.
Yeah, no, that's a fine way to put it. Like, it really looks like a rogue season, and I mean that's generally how it goes. There's like seasons where rogue smashes everyone, and then there's seasons where rogue just dies early.
Right.
But yeah, this is our lineup for today. Trap, Armani, SOS, and Zest. A couple of our super underperformers here for GSL as far as SOS and Trap, both with 2 silver medals.
Yeah, I do think Trap is still by far the strongest player in this group. Would you agree with that?
No, I think Zest is on his
Zest.
level.
You are a Zest guy at the
I've
end
always
of the day.
been a Zest guy.
Guys, quick video, then we're going to start our matches.
조성호 선수의 시간이 지금 기다리고 있습니다. 어떤 조를 만들고 싶으세요?
저그 선수를 생각하고 있었는데
네.
이제 A조에 갈 것 같아가지고 그래서 또 다른 원하는 선수가 있으신지.
자, 여기서 조성호 선수에게 지금 가고 싶은 선수 강민수.
성호 형이 최근에 우승하셨을 때 항상 저를 이기고 우승하셨거든요.
와.
그래가지고 이번에 또 우승하시려면 또 저를 이기고 우승하셨으면 좋겠어요.
성호 형이랑 같은 팀 된 김에 대회에서 한번 게임하고 같이 손잡고 올라가고 싶습니다.
이야, 이게
약간 민수 의견 듣고 보고 싶은 마음이 있었는데 또 진혁이는 팀킬이라서 아예 생각을 안 하고 있었는데
네.
진혁이가 또 이렇게 같이 올라가자고 이렇게 제안을 하니까 또 좀 괜찮은 것 같아요. 그래서
네.
누굴 뽑을까 고민이에요. 둘 다.
지금 고민이래요.
팀이 모두 다 마음대로 되면 좋긴 한데.
야, 오, 진짜 팀원의 이야기 들어주면서요. 그룹 D로 박진혁 선수가 지금 들어가게 되었습니다. 오늘
팀원이니까 아예 생각을 안 하고 있었는데 진영이가 오고 싶어하는 마음도 있고
네.
그래서 같이 올라가자고 하는 마음에 그래서 뽑게 됐어요.
저랑 성호 형이랑 이게 원하는 게 딱 맞아 떨어져가지고
이번 선수가요.
속전속결로 딱 정해 끝냈습니다.
조성호와 박진혁 선수 함께 같은 조로 들어갈
공적으로
오늘 김유진을 뽑았어요.
어딜 조를 가든 조금 힘들 거라고 생각해서 A조를 가고 싶었거든요.
예.
근데 안 뽑아줄 걸 알기 때문에 그냥 마지막에 제일 센 선수가 오니까 그냥 그 선수랑 게임하면 재밌을 것 같아서 그냥 온다고 했어요.
여기서 이제 최종 선택 마지막 선택이 기다리고 있습니다.
조금 있느냐인데.
누구를 데려가나 정말
쓰고 뭐고 어림없다.
항상 이렇게 마지막에 남는 선수가 좀 되는 것 같아요. 주성호 선수는요.
아니요, 제가 올차임 끝나고 좀 의욕이 사라져가지고 좀 빨리 뽑힐 줄 알았는데 뭐 늦게 뽑힌 조치고는 괜찮은 것 같고 마지막 시즌이 될 수도 있을 것 같은데 지금부터 준비 좀 열심히 해가지고 높이 올라가겠습니다.
멋진 모습 이번 시즌에 기대를 하도록 하겠습니다.
Round of 16. Trap. Armani. SOS. Zest. GSL Season 1. Code S.
All right, we're back, and we are ready to start our groups.
Well, after what Zest said there, maybe it is Trap that's going to do a bit better. He's like, I don't really have motivation right now. I'm going to the military soon. I'll do my best.
It's one of those things where it's such a pain in the ass for the career of any pro gamer out here.
Yeah.
You know, the military service. By the way, guys, you cannot compete/make money when you're serving in the military. That includes even streaming.
Yeah,
like you can't do any of that.
Can't do anything.
So I mean, people said it was a death sentence in the in the story of a pro gamer's career. Although I think esports, StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 esports has gone on long enough where it doesn't seem like that's really the case. I think there's always this attitude that everything is so futile, but really this game is actually very old and well tested. And same with StarCraft 1. So. Yeah, I mean, Zest is eventually going to have to go to the military, right? But, we'll see. We'll see how he does here, and we'll see how he does when he comes back as well.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but it is what it is.
Damn, nice. It is what it is.
Well, I've been through this so many times. It's like heartbreak every time, Tasis, when one of these players Zest is honestly, in modern times, the most influential Protoss that we've had. And there's not a question there. Literally don't even bother to message me because he has made more of the builds and refined more of the builds than anyone else. And like to lose him to the military, I think is a big blow for the Protoss race because he still peaks like once a year where it's like, oh yeah, no, he's the best right now for the race.
And he also has got some very sharp, specific types of attacks.
Yeah.
We're actually going to go to Trap versus Armani now, though. It's going to be on death or for map number 1, and that game will be starting right now. Let's go.
2021. GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world.
Africa Freaks, Trap. Africa Freaks, Armani.
So Armani's prep for this group has got to be a lot easier, right?
Yeah,
or is it in fact harder because everybody's going to see the way that you're playing?
I think that the 3 players he's going up against have such drastically different styles that's fine.
Okay, that's a good point. These are 3 completely different Protosses.
Yeah, Trap is kind of a complete player, and then Zest is a mid-game player, and then SOS is an insane player. So,
SOS is an insane person.
Yeah, so it's I don't think it's for him. It's just like, okay, just be really good.
Yeah,
just play your best. You know.
And we've got a
oh man,
we've got a very technical Trap. We've got Zest with all his great timings. Who knows what SOS was doing while he was wearing a straitjacket, banging his head against the padded walls of an insane asylum before this match.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to get.
Who knows what he came up with there, man. I tell you. It's kind of like we heard from Bunny, right, when he beat Stats. He's like, yeah, no, I got drunk and I came up with this build and then beat Stats with a Game 5. That's kind of reminds me of SOS. I'm like, I don't know what he does to come up with the things that he does, but whatever it is, it works out. So, kind of a greedy opener from Trap. Goes for the very late scout, but not going to be punished here. And I'm kind of excited to see what Armani's ZVP is going to look like. He's still a little bit of a wild card. He's had much better results for the past couple of years. He's been getting, peaking up and having a good time. Yeah, like, he's not super stable,
Yeah.
He's not like one of these other guys where I'm like, oh, I already know kind of where you're at and where you're going to finish. Like he might come out really strong today and win the group, but he could also get last place. I could see either way going.
So the Stargate build coming up here for Trap. I do think in this match I would be very surprised if Armani defeated Trap.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I think that Trap has really been on top of his game.
Yeah. I mean, his last 6 months have been
phenomenal. Yeah.
So an Oracle, Stalker as well.
We've got 10 links coming down here for the Zerg. Things are going to be pretty quiet to start things off over here. Doesn't appear that there's any kind of committed attack coming on either side.
No.
Just Armani going to drone up for a little bit. I am curious to see if we're going to have one of these long, protracted PVZs. These did seem to be popular a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was actually kind of talking about that a little bit today on the Pylon Show. It's really strange watching the Korean Protosses not really utilize Void Rays, and instead we're seeing lots of glaives and stuff and lots of gateway attacks.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, I don't feel like that's the way you're supposed to be doing it right now, but that's the way they're doing it. So
even in our last cast this Monday, it was like that.
Yeah, Zaun was bringing out some weird stuff. Didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, without it working out. Yeah, exactly. This time around, looks like he is going to catch one of these Adepts, get the kill there. There is going to be a Robo follow-up. So this doesn't appear to be any very heavy, air attack unit commitment here. We just have the Oracle that's come through there. And
not too bad, though.
I was going to mention, are we going to see him mass up a Void Rays or anything like that? And I don't know. I guess that style isn't as popular right now.
Yeah, not in Korea, at least. And, he gets 5 drones with that. Not too bad, considering the Adepts kind of got caught out in the map. Yeah, a couple more going down. Robo is on the way. A couple more gates as well. No third Nexus as of yet.
Yeah, these Lings are here to try to get a quick denial on that, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Pylon's going to come up. 2 more Adepts coming down here.
Oops.
And, okay, not bad, but there's some Zealots coming down here to help. But that is a bit annoying, losing those 2 Adepts like that. We've already seen Trap hemorrhage 3 Adepts. Not really accomplishing that much. Now the Roach Warren, the Roach Warren is coming down here now as well.
His layer about halfway done. And nothing looking too out of the ordinary on either side, to be honest. I guess the most out of the ordinary thing is that 0 Void Rays were made.
Okay, good.
Oh, man. Just barely.
The Oracles needed to cuddle more.
Yeah, he pushed him off.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a touchy-feely guy, and now he's dead.
That Oracle doesn't like to, yeah, it doesn't like to share the blanket
I don't like
at night.
hugs, yeah. Okay, the push is now coming out here. We've got a Warp Prism here as well.
And let's see what he gets done. I don't think it's going to be that dedicated.
Sorry. I like it. Sometimes when you're talking, you gotta go, hey, what is he doing? Let's see what he gets done.
You gotta do it. You gotta sometimes ask the question rather than make the statement tasteless.
What he's gonna go with this push. So here he comes now. He's going up over to the third base. There's a lot of queens, a lot of... hold on, Lynx are going to come in here from behind. I don't feel like Zerg really has that much, though. I mean, this is a pretty easy juggle. We don't really have enough Ravagers, certainly not even in range, to peg that Warp Prism.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's doing like a lot more than I thought he would end up doing. The 3 spines do finish up here. And trying to get through these force fields, they are dropping off in number.
Yeah, this is actually doing a ton of damage here. We don't have a second Immortal inbound here right now. Instead, he's just going to keep warping in. But, you know, if Zerg loses this hatch, that could be fatal.
You know, if he loses that hatch, yeah, that's kind of huge. And I actually want to see Trap back up a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, because this felt like more of a macro build, so I didn't think he was actually going to, I thought this was going to be more of a pressure, and then he got there and there was nothing there, and he, like, kills the hatch, but he's actually been macroing behind. Like, he only stopped probe production for a moment. He's got great worker saturation on the 3 bases, adding all sorts of tech, has his forge up and everything. So I feel like as long as Trap doesn't, like, throw away his army, he is in fantastic shape here.
Yeah, I think this is really a sign of a good player, to back up and say, all right, I've basically succeeded in everything that I needed to do. It's not like after you kill the 3rd hatch, you have to then smash the Zerg and kill them. You've already basically gotten ahead. All the Zerg can do at this point in time is try to make a hatchery again and defend it, and if you go in and kill that again, you win. And, you know, in the long history of StarCraft, we have seen players who are winning, and then they just keep attacking in, and they've lost the Immortals, they've lost the Warp Prism, or the Sentries, things that are not easily replenishable, and then they lose the game. So, you know, it's sometimes not the most exciting thing to watch, but it's actually how you win, and it's actually how you play like a good player.
Well, honestly, if you don't think it's the most exciting thing to watch someone really perfect the fundamentals of one of the hardest games ever created, then you have no taste and turn off the show. You know, it's like, that's, in my world, that is the best thing to see tasteless, is someone look at that and say, yeah, now I back up, and we reinforce, we get these upgrades done, we make sure our economy's rolling, and then we go up and kill.
Another denial over here on the 4th. I mean, there is an impending attack that's going to be on this 3rd. He might even actually take this all the way up here to the natural. Notice he's having just the Stalkers come up with his army over here, since he can blink away so easily.
Yeah, really not risking much of anything there. Has a straight way to blink back and get away, and just kind of keeping the pressure on. You can see he's up in workers, adding in the support bay as well as the 2nd robo, getting his upgrades. And Armani is mostly sitting here making units. He's down workers. His economy is just not as good. The 4th Nexus just started. Some great things going on for Trap. But Armani does make the Nidus. So I like that as an idea right here. Because he is forced into making all these units, right? So maybe there's a situation where Trap is in a funny position and Armani can do some big damage.
Yeah. Okay. Another big push in here. You know, Protoss is also getting this 4th base up like this is going to be so immensely ahead, but I like the Nidus idea.
Yeah.
I think this is the one good out for Armani. I don't think it's going to work, but I think it's smart, right? Like,
exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Like
I don't think it will work, but I can't think of anything else that will, so let's try this.
Yeah, if I'm rooting for him, I'm really thinking the Nidus was a good move here.
Yeah.
Well, we're beginning to get to the boiling point here. You know, Protoss is nearly maxed out and looking for a fight.
And Armani has a lot of supply as well. And it's mostly like Ling Ravager, which isn't that bad supply-wise.
I so wanted to see a disruptor
me
shot,
too.
just nuke that. Yeah, the number of Ravagers that's out is causing a problem here for Trap, because you can keep endlessly firing projectiles, or you can artillery out the biles, and the Protoss just can't actually stay and push. The Nidus Worm is shut down with ease.
I guess almost lucky for him that it gets killed, because those disruptors were coming up. That would have
Yeah,
made anything coming out get really punished.
I'm surprised we don't have double Nidus more often.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've seen it so few times, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe Dark, Rogue, and Cyril I've seen do it. If that, that's like about it. But that one doesn't work. It does kind of slow down Trap's pushing. They're both near maxed right here. Okay, throws down some biles. Those are sick biles. Oh my god.
Nasty biles on those Immortals, but is there just too much Protoss here?
Are there too many biles here too? I mean, we had some really insane biles.
You get pretty used to seeing the pros dodge every bile all the time, and it's sort of not something you tend to pay much attention to.
Yeah.
Since both sides are usually playing so perfectly, but that was a lot that just connected there. But I think there's still just too much coming. With the 3 disruptors here, they're so good at hunting down the Ravagers. The Ravager really just can't get away if the shot is timed correctly.
Yeah. Throwing down lots of biles. Microing his heart out right now, but can he actually hold on against this ridiculous army of Trap? It's just so efficient. And the amount of stalkers he has is pretty insane as well. Now, he does have some Vipers that are being made, so of course Abduct can cancel those Novas. And, Blinding Cloud is definitely very good against stalkers as well, but it feels like it's going to be too little too late.
Okay, the push is coming here. Again, over to this 4th. Zerg has to keep this 4th. I will say this is some of the best biles we've had. I mean, really hitting Immortals over and over again like this. But what Armani is just trying to do is not get completely run over, and this blink in is insane. The Ravagers are going down. There are so many Immortals so well positioned. GG! Trap takes game 1.
Well, Trap just knew that inside and out, man. Like, that was as close to a flawless game as I can come up with from Trap.
Yeah,
right?
it was really good.
He was like basically doing a macro build, pushed out, killed the 3rd hatch, retreated perfectly and hit on the edges, forcing nonstop units, pulled back again, switched into disruptors, and then like literally ate more biles than I've ever seen anyone eat in a game, but it didn't matter because he had enough that he could break him anyways.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many biles hit, but it just did not matter.
Yeah. Insanely well played from Trap. Insanely well played.
Armani, he had a tough game. I think he held his own there for a while, but, I mean, Trap basically just overpowered him, especially after he killed that first base.
I didn't feel like he played particularly badly. It was just like he kind of got caught at his 3rd, and things went wrong.
Yeah.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world.
Africa Freaks. Trap. Africa Freaks. Armani.
A little hatchery block this game. We'll see how this one goes differently, obviously. Some slightly different openings here.
We've got the 3rd hatchery down far away. The probe came in here for the block. I think the most impressive part about that last game from the Zerg's perspective is how well the Zerg fought back after losing the 3rd.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did fine. He was focusing on like Ling Ravager for the most part, which can't blame him because the Roaches aren't going to do all that well. So I think it was an okay composition. The Nidus wasn't a bad idea, I don't think. Didn't do anything, unfortunately, and it was like he got outmathed. You know?
really Zerg had to be very prepared for that push that came in there, and he just wasn't. There was way too much damage that was dished out. I don't think Trap has to do anything specifically fancy coming into this game either, by the way.
No. It's not one of those situations where you're looking for some cheeky plays from Trap to win. Like, if anyone's going to win a macro PvZ, it's going to be him.
Would you say that Trap is the most well-rounded Protoss that we have in the GSL now?
Yeah.
I think that's true, yeah.
I would absolutely say that.
Yeah.
I think he's good at every portion of the game.
I feel like a lot of our other Protosses, they're like, I don't know, like they each have special powers, but I do feel like Trap kind of is like Superman or...
Yeah, the only one
well, you can fly and you are invincible and you have X-ray vision. All right.
The only one that's anything like him really is Stats. Stats tends a little bit more defensive, but I would say Stats would be second on the well-rounded list, probably.
Trap is like Captain Planet. The other Protosses are like, what is the Planeteers? Was that what they were called?
Yeah,
right?
I believe the
Planeteers.
I believe it's the Planeteers, yeah. And which ones are they, though, Taste?
Zest is fire.
Oh, he's the fire guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can get behind that.
Okay.
Wait, Parting? No, Parting's fire.
Parting is fire.
Fire. Zest is... No, Parting is heart.
Parting is not heart. There's no way he's heart.
Zest is fire. SOS is wind.
Are you sure that SOS isn't one of the pollution bad guys?
Yeah, actually, he might be one of the pollution bad guys. You could be right about that.
We'll see how he plays today.
So
Zound is wind.
I was thinking Zound would be water, but...
Water?
Yeah.
No, he's
We're not
wind.
on the same page here,
No.
man. Yeah,
This is the end of Tastosis. I can tell you barely watch Captain Planet.
I know that Parting is heart for sure.
So just some adepts shading around. Oracle being made. Second one. First one coming across the map right now. Couple spores on the way. See how much damage you can get done. We got about 7 drones with the initial harassment last time, but that did involve 2 adepts dying. Here, doesn't really feel like he's going to get too much done. Armani a bit more on top of things. Okay, 1, 2.
Here comes that second Oracle. We've got the Twilight Council down here now as well. I think this is going to be extremely similar to the last game we had. I don't think Trap wants to do anything fancy. I don't think he even wants to do any kind of weird timing builds at all because he's going to carry those other builds that he has with him through the tournament, Like when you're going through a tournament and you're against somebody that you know you are supposed to beat, no problem at all. You don't really want to do anything out there, right? It's like just play a very straightforward build, be safe, you're going to outpace him.
But, like, Rogue is the only other Zerg left in the tournament, so, like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to save the bet, because he's...
yeah.
If you're a tournament champion, you're looking all the way on the other side of the bracket for the threats, too. It's not a day-by-day thing,
That's
right?
true. He does...
I think
Trap can easily make a finals.
I think if you're Creator, as an example, or just one of the other guys that, let's say you're round of 16, or you were round of 32, now a Code A player or something, I think you do look at each group or each day as just, let's get through today, let's not lose. But if you're like Trap here, where you actually could win this season, I think that, you do save your absolute craziest and best stuff for even that only Zerg, right?
Looks like an Archon drop was planned here, but the Zerglings find the warp in, and he does have to pick that up and run away with those High Templars, morph them into Archons elsewhere. And he is making those now while taking that base. Charge on the way. He's also added 4 gates.
Okay, 2 Archons coming out now.
Let's see what he can get done with it.
Looks like it's going to be paired with the Oracles. The drop looks like it's headed towards the main, and while the chaos is happening there, he's going to come in here with these Oracles. I thought he was going to do this actually after the drop. He comes in ahead of time. Ooh, loses 1 Oracle, unfortunately.
Okay, drops off the Archons into the main. There are 3 Queens here, so can't really get much anything done. Has a couple hits, goes over to that 4th base, is warping in. And just picks them up. Gonna get out of here for now. Now, I think it is important to note that he made the Archons out of High Templars as opposed to Dark Templars, which gives you a little bit of a different feel, right? Like, it's a little bit more gas, but quite a bit less minerals. So it can go two ways, right? Like, either you're optimizing your gas and mineral spend, or you're kind of aiming towards going a little bit later game with Psystorm. But here we see he is walking out. He has made a lot of gateways, so looks like it's that kind of optimized version.
Okay, the push is coming through now. Interesting position he's going to try to take the fight, unless he actually goes to the upper left. I wasn't expecting him to push through this narrow area. He does eat a bile right on top of that little sentry's head.
Yeah.
The attack comes in, force fields do come down. I do feel like Armani probably has enough here. This is quite a bit.
Yeah, it really does look like he has plenty.
Armani definitely making the adjustments he needed to make to not have a game that looked like what happened last time. He is keeping these Immortals alive. With the Immortals and the Archons still alive, the threat of the push is still real.
Yeah, that is the important part, right? He lost the sentries, though, which is a little bit painful. And in fact, he's going to back up off creep. It doesn't feel like he can break through at the moment. And I think running away for now is probably a good play. But going on the edge, you know, he can clear some creep, maybe pick off a few units, maybe force Armani to make less drones than he wants to. But Armani definitely having a much better game here. No question about that. All right, he is going to engage there for a moment. Has to unload so he can juggle those Immortals if need be. Looks like he is probably going to go into Disruptors here. Psystorm being made. He did make this support bay. I thought I heard a building cancel or something, but maybe I didn't.
This is a much, much stronger game here for Armani. I like the Spire inbound here. Protoss is going to have to take a fourth base coming up here. He definitely should not commit to this drop over here. There's more than enough queens to deal with that.
Oh, he could have taken that.
I think he should have probably just killed all those queens and picked them up and left.
Yeah. Still harassing a little bit with the Immortals, just getting done what he can. By the way, he did start Phoenixes, so it seems that he realizes that the Spire is being made. I didn't see a scout of it, but okay. Yeah, Psystorm being made. Second Stargate coming up, so definitely does know about that. Maybe he did cancel. Like, he must have seen the Spire when I didn't realize, because he was going up towards Colossus and/or Disruptor Tech. But now, you know, making that hard right turn into Phoenixes.
Okay.
A big attack here from Armani. No real... Okay, there we go. The splash damage coming up in the form of Psystorms just storms right on top of the Immortal.
Yeah, kind of a crazy Psystorm there. Zerg definitely going to have to turn around. There's no way this is going to work.
I got to say, I have some appreciation for this very different way that Trap is playing, where he's eating more vials, and he literally just stormed on his Immortal because it was getting surrounded by units.
Yeah.
But he has the overcharged battery, so it's like, it's okay.
But yeah, it's
normally you don't see anyone make those choices.
You're completely right. His behavior in fights is quite different from a lot of the Protosses we've seen before.
That might be like a breakthrough type thing for him as well. If you start taking fights differently from everyone else and it's working, that's kind of a big brain thing. Now, there's actually quite a few mutas out. He popped 15. He's going to catch this Prism immediately. But, I mean, there's Phoenixes being made 2 at a time.
Okay. Muta's coming in now. And I like the Phoenix response here. I mean, this is basically going to make this completely and utterly useless.
Yeah, he cannot be happy seeing that many Phoenixes already up here. He's going to force a cancel on that fourth. In fact, kills it off.
Yeah, gets the kill there. Pretty big.
And, wow, big lifts as well.
Big lifts.
Big
plays
lifts
here today from the Protoss player.
Yeah, Tasus, I'm a commentator, man. It's my job to, like, say things. God.
I'm sorry, Artosis. Sometimes I just want to reach out and poke you.
Give me a titty twister
That's
on
right.
air.
Yeah. Give you a wedgie.
Yeah. I deserve it, Tasteless.
You were asking for it, Artosis.
Yeah.
I told you, you're the smaller chicken and I have to peck you to death now.
It's important.
Well, the Muta play was shut down.
It really was. And honestly, I kind of liked it, but Trap just caught wind of it and slammed it with those Phoenixes. Now, Armani still has good supply. He's got great creep spread. He's up now on those 5 bases. and he denied the 4th of Trap. So this game is absolutely not over. Trap has retained most of his really strong units here, which is such an important part of playing Protoss. Lurker Tech on the way for Armani. Looks like he's going to go back with a few Corruptors and like 3 Mutas.
Yeah, this counterattack not going to help that much. The Protoss is inbound here with a huge attack.
Not going to dodge those Biles that time.
Yeah, and actually the Phoenixes are not even going to go back and try to fight the Mutas. I mean, look, the Mutas can do a lot of damage back there inside the main, but you know, now that we're over here, this is the real story, and this is the real threat, and these storms are insane, and there's just like not enough room to outmaneuver them, and this is going to be GG. There's just no way that Armani can recover from this.
Dude, that was
insane.
Yeah, that was a pretty darn good attack. I mean, let's see, Armani, I mean, he's making as many units as he can, but look at this, right in the middle of some of these rallies, like catching everything as it pops out of the eggs. Still such a strong army for Trap.
Okay, this is going really well here. I don't think there's enough Ravagers, man. I mean, this is just too much.
Yeah.
And even the drones being pulled here, the Bile's not quite connecting. It looks like he's finally going to get a kill on one of these Immortals, but...
Yeah, some of them going to be picked off. Good micro from Armani overall, but Trap just, he's plodding forward here with these very powerful units and going to be able to knock those out. GG, yeah. And Trap 2-0's Armani. I think Armani played a much better second game.
I agree.
But Trap certainly did look like he was on a different level.
Yeah, rough one there for Armani. But look, I mean, I don't think Armani's out of the tournament necessarily. I think he does have a shot here against the other 2 Protoss players, but Trap really is on another level. He is the guy we're all studying to learn, you know, what are you supposed to be doing with Protoss? What is Protoss capable of?
Yeah, and I think he really showed just fantastic play so far tonight.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. You know, Rogue was saying he didn't want to play SOS out of this group, but I think watching that, he doesn't want to play Trap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
All right, well, that does it for our first best of 3, but we're far from over here. Up next, it's going to be a PvP.
All right, SOS versus Zest. That's a good one. That's going to be a fun PvP. Can't wait to see it.
All right, guys, short break. We'll be right back.
I know you're telling me you're leaving, but all I wanna do is hold you now and hear the sound of your heart beating. If 양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥, 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내룩의 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Round of 16. Trap. Armani. SOS. Zest. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio. Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6. 2021. GSL Season 1.
What is up, everybody? We just finished up with Trap versus Armani. Not surprisingly, Trap did 2-0 Armani. Trap looking primed to get out of this group. But now we're going to go to Zest versus SOS, and I'm really curious what this fight is going to look like.
Yeah. Like, with SOS, sometimes he has the best PvP on Earth, and sometimes he overthinks it himself. Like, I will never ever forget when he just tooled Classic, right, in the Super Tournament Finals, or round of 4, I can't recall which, but like he went up like 3-0, and then he went Blink Stalker 4 games in a row and lost them all to Immortals, and it was like that was it, and then he didn't win.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, once you do it twice, are you supposed to do it the third time? And he does it the third time. I'm like, okay, have we learned anything, or is this a super mind game? No, we've gone too far down the rabbit hole, and now we're 0-4 in a row. And then you have Zest over here, who I think has the sharpest builds and like some of the best execution out there. Like he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Zest is such an innovator, really, with Protoss. I mean, throughout Legacy of the Void, he's really been one of the leaders as far as timing attacks go, as far as, we see what is Protoss capable of doing as far as attacks. SOS has always been very big picture, meta-y. SOS really is going to go down as one of the greatest RTS players of all time. But right now, he's not looking that strong. I mean, there was a period where SOS absolutely could win any tournament, and he won a lot of them, including World Championships. But lately, he doesn't seem to be as strong. It does seem like this meta's become much more cemented, and he's having a hard time doing his creative, thinking outside the box play.
Last year was his worst year in GSL ever.
Yeah.
So
we're going to go to Lightshade for map 1. This is SOS versus Zest.
2021 GSL Season 1. We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. They're living a life like Team NV, SOS. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
All right.
So immediately we have the probes coming out. Probe high five. Boop. And yeah, there's going to be quick scouts over here. We only have one gas taken right now for Zest, whereas SOS is going for double gas. Oh, excuse me. All right, second gas coming down here now as well.
And I mean, you kind of expect them to do very similar openings here. And it kind of comes down to, are you going to hide something on the map or not?
Yeah. This matchup does seem to have the widest range of possible openers. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah. I would say so. Like, you can kind of do any tech route in PvP.
Yeah, and that's why we end up with the most different types of early games in this matchup.
Yeah, there definitely is a huge amount of flexibility there. Like, you can actually open with almost anything. You go DTs, you can go Immortal pushes, you can go Stargate tech, you can go Blink. You can just go expand, for a pretty fast expansion, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and you know, one thing about StarCraft 2, it's always been a factor, but there's not a lot you can do about it. Is that you can proxy almost anywhere, and if you're really good at hiding it, they can scout for it, and then you don't know. Even, some of these guys that scout almost the entire map still miss the proxy.
That's actually, now that you say that, that makes me think for a moment, that because there's very little unbuildable terrain in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe we should talk about this right now then. This is an interesting point of conversation. StarCraft 1 has a lot more unbuildable terrain.
It's a huge part of map making in StarCraft 1. You can't have too much buildable terrain because then Terran starts to get really, really strong.
They can fill the entire map up with turrets.
Yeah, turrets, anything, just to help the bushes, right?
I wonder if we should advocate for more unbuildable terrain in StarCraft 2. The thing is, I think proxies are an important part of the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does seem like you can proxy in so many locations.
Yeah, I wonder how that would make things look. Honestly, at this point, I'm just advocating for having new maps each ladder season, rather than like let's change them. But yeah, it's an interesting thing I hadn't really thought of, that we almost have like no terrain that's unbuildable. It's like, yeah, the high grass, ramps. Other than that, like no one, you can build anywhere.
Is there lots of unbuildable terrain in Warcraft 3 actually?
Do they make buildings in Warcraft 3?
They make a few. There's a couple buildings.
Oh, okay.
By the way, we got a push up here.
Good defense here from SOS, I would say.
Yeah, SOS with the rotation of the lower shield unit. Really nicely done. Gets a few more stalkers here. There are 2 more coming and a War Prism's inbound. Behind this, it's going to be a Dark Shrine tech for SOS.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, this is not going to quite work out for him because there is, as we see, an Observer on the way. Good micro here from Zest. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried here. I mean, we know the War Prism is inbound right now, but the question is, how much more pressure can actually be put over here onto SOS? SOS is the one burdened with defending because, Zest isn't expanding. He's actually diving in here now.
Yeah.
And that's so funny. Let's get him each to 1 HP here.
No, that is just about it. Like, SOS is trying to squeeze out a DT, but unfortunately for him, it's Robotech, and there is an Observer.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to be losing this expansion. You can see that very crisp execution from Zest.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very Zest-ish win.
Yeah, and it's a strong build overall, right? Like, you're really pressuring heavily with the Stalkers, and the Prism comes out, which is basically like a quicker version of Blink.
Yeah.
And then it's just, if you have someone that can really micro that, it is very hard to hold on. SOS had good micro there. Obviously, he was doing a little bit of a greedy build with the quick Nexus and a couple sentries into DT tech, but this is what can happen in PvP, right? Like, there is some volatility to it on what build orders you both choose, that sometimes you're not going to make it out alive.
We're going to go to Oxide for map number 2. SOS versus Zest. Again, the winner goes on to face off against Trap. There's only 2 more spots remaining in the round of 8 for this GSL. Let's see if SOS can come back now, or if Zest is going to 2-0 this. That was such a short game.
Yeah, that was fast.
I hope we get 3 games out of these guys.
I think
Our
we will.
game's loaded up. Let's go.
2021 GSL Season 1. Team NV, SOS.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one already.
Oh, yeah, he sent a probe out.
Well, he's doing the fast expansion Zest is.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Yeah, there's a probe at the 6 o'clock
Yeah,
spot.
no, I missed that. So he actually has a pylon in his main and a pylon down here.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is, it looks like the max packs, which is normally only used against Terran.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
So that's funny because, yeah, 1 pylon there. I guess that's almost like a red herring pylon in his main.
It's actually so you don't miss probes. Because if you build your first pylon across the map, you just get supply blocked.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So this was originally, it was called like the Max Specs build that BCQD made popular. Obviously, the great player Max Specs made it. And it's like you build the first pylon in your main while sending out a probe immediately across the map. Then you build a pylon and a gateway out there. And then you just, basically you would force cancels on the command center for Terran all the time when it first came out. I've never seen it used against Protoss. Obviously, the build's going to be slightly different. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely strange what we're looking at. Now, he does have that gateway, chrono boosting out a Zealot, and Zest originally, because he put the gate on low ground, I think his plan here was to make a very quick Nexus, but, you know, based on what SOS is doing, that could be fatal.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The Zealot is coming in here now.
Oh, boy.
The moment you see this, you realize, okay, this is not a normal SO or not a normal PvP. It is a normal SOS game.
Yeah,
it's just completely SOS at his element. So you're gonna get that probe.
Look at that, just sending the Zealot directly into the mineral line.
This is one of these attacks where you need to know exactly what your plan is ahead of time. You don't just send the Zealot in and try to see what you can find.
Yeah.
So apparently, this is the best way to do this, is if you see nothing.
Dude, 3 probes, not bad.
Yeah, and the second Zealot comes in here, and I think he's going to ignore the Stalker.
Yeah, I guess he will, but it's going to be killed pretty quickly. Like a Stalker, it kills the Zealot like with reasonable speed.
Oh, you know what? I actually reversed who was who here for a second. It's actually Zest who's going to go for either Blink or DTs.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, for some reason, thought that was SOS doing that. I was like, huh.
Well, you know what? We just got buildings everywhere on the map. In the bottom right, we have the Twilight hidden with the DT Shrine. Then for SOS in the bottom middle, we have a gateway. And then on the left side, yeah, I think he's going to go Stargate, but we'll see. You never know, man. SOS coming down here now with the Stalker going to catch this probe that came from a funny direction.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes and looks for that now?
Yeah, you know, the Dark Shrine does take an extremely long period of time to make.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you spot that in time, you might have some time to actually react here. Now, back inside of SOS's main base, there's no detection.
No. There's
nothing. I mean, we might get an Oracle, which could help detect, but I don't think actually, you know, Oracles are really the big answer, of course, for DTs. There's no Forge that's being made on either side here. So as much as all these techs are ramping up in this game, I do believe the DT tech will probably be the strongest.
Yeah.
And I think the game-ending one.
I think it's very likely, but if he goes Oracle, I could see him possibly winning, right? Because the Oracle will come out, and he'll probably use the Stalkers to draw all available firepower to the main base, and then maybe the Oracle goes and gets a lot of damage, and maybe the second Oracle can get recalled to deal with the DT. Maybe.
Yes.
I think it's a tough situation. Here goes those first 2 DTs.
We have an Oracle that's about to come out. It's important when you do this DT rush, which, by the way, may just end the game, but you need to split them off from each other.
Yeah, that's very important.
That's one of the only ways you can end up throwing this.
Yeah, the Oracle's a bit better versus DTs than they used to be with the Revelation.
This could backfire because when the ramp being blocked, he may have both of them right here attacking.
Yeah. Okay, so does some damage there.
Oh, that's it. That, I believe, is it.
That's kind of funny, isn't it? Okay, recalls this one, and he should be able to kill one of them. What's the energy on it? 25. Okay, there you go.
One. Are there more DTs coming here?
I don't think so, actually. I mean, the DTs still have done well, I think.
Oh, yeah, no. For sure they've done a very good job.
It's just funny that he moved the Stalkers. Like, I think the DTs were right-click towards the main, and you just, like, right-click the Stalkers away, I guess. Okay, deals with both. And he should be fine now.
Yeah. He does have other DTs on the map. And the Blink is also going to finish more quickly here for Zest. There was a Twilight Council that was made there in the main for SOS, but I believe it's currently unpowered.
Yeah, let's see what he gets done with those Stalkers. You know, the double Oracle is pretty useful, and he is going into a Robo, so he can get the Observers for the DTs, and he can get... Oh my god, he's going to force Blink to not finish.
It's
that
10
is
seconds
an
out.
amazing catch. Does he have enough energy on those to actually kill that?
No.
Or are we just going to waste all our energy and take
He
shields
just wants
off
to make
of the
sure there's
building?
no shields, man.
Yeah. That's always... I like to damage it a little bit, too. Like, maybe make it yellow.
Yeah. Well,
and then just not have any energy
well,
on my
here's
oracles.
what you're not considering, Artos, is those shields have to regenerate back now.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought of that.
It's kind of
It's
embarrassing.
a great move.
But yeah, definitely do that instead of having anything that can detect over here.
He didn't get the Twilight. Okay, so the Observer will be popping out here shortly, and he can deal with this. Oh, nice recall from Zest.
Yeah. That DT is a bad dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so we are going to get Blink done.
Didn't quite get all the shields. Is it time to go back and get the rest of the shields?
I would be happy if he took out the rest of the shields at that Twilight and then, like, just got it down to 0.
Yeah.
Now, there's Stalkers coming down here. Hold on. This is so funny.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Oh my god, if he denies Blink.
Oh, it's done!
Oh, that's...
Oh my god.
That's brutal.
It's
you know
so
what?
funny. He shouldn't
we
even...
were making fun of killing the shields, but if he had actually finished killing the shields...
Yeah, yeah.
Now he's in trouble.
So there's definitely a little
And
bit of
don't we
egg
feel
on
like
our
fools?
face here. Wow. I mean,
that was higher IQ
be...
than I'm capable of understanding. That was like the alley-oop, man, is what that was.
So he takes out the tech, but I don't know how more important DTs are right now, and Blink is done, which is the most important thing you want to try to get done here. We're getting into a very interesting PvP, considering how this started and where we've ended up at.
Yeah, it was definitely a wonky opener. But it's like normalizing a little bit. It looks more like a regular PvP now. Zest is taking that third Nexus. We do not see that from SOS. He has gone for his own counter blink. He does have the double Oracle and Robo out. I like SOS's position here a bit, I think. Like he's... but Zest is making Immortals.
Yeah, that's
and he
what
does
worries
have
me.
that third Nexus halfway done. That's Zest's first Immortal, right?
I think so, yeah. It seems like he's slightly ahead. I mean, it's such a weird game because of all the proxies and stuff. There was a lot of rebuilding that had to happen back there. But is Zest going to actually try to come across the map and do anything? I don't think he should, actually. In fact, it seems like if anybody should be attacking, it should be SOS.
Oh, yeah, 100% it should be SOS. He starts his third Nexus. Now, he needs to get down here and actually do a little bit of something based on that Nexus timing. Let's see what he can get done. Oh, Zest? Yeah. I think Zest needs to be down here. He needs to actually take the fight, because if he loses his third, then SOS is going to be way far ahead.
Okay. Push continues on. We do have Zest backing up over towards the natural. His third is a little bit exposed, but I don't know if SOS is going to rotate around and hit that.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, like his third Nexus is going to finish relatively soon here, and he's actually got more workers than Zest still. Zest definitely focusing on getting his actual unit count up. SOS comes over for a moment, pulls back.
He does drive him away. Nice one-shotting.
This is a huge moment. Because like already the probe count was slightly SOS favored, but now after killing 8 more workers and his third finishes, SOS should go home.
Now we've got Zest pushing across. Is he going to actually come out here and try to take a fight?
Yeah, I think he should. I think he should.
All right.
I don't know if it will actually end up working, but he blinks forward there.
Whoa. That was a very odd maneuver there. Is this going to actually work out? He got the Immortal to almost no HP and then left that alive.
Yeah. Seems like a bit of a mistake for sure. SOS going to take that.
That was a very weird ending to that game.
Yeah, I think the offensive blink didn't, like... The offensive blink might have been okay because he had more Stalkers, but then he didn't utilize it that well. He did leave us an Immortal there at red health, and it was just kind of weird.
The whole game was very strange.
That was a it was a very different game. Very different game. But SOS ties it up.
I just don't think he needed to push out there. Like when we saw it.
Zest or SOS?
Zest.
I thought he should try to do something because he just lost so many probes.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know the Oracles aren't going to be in the battle, and like you took a bunch of damage, so you're either just accepting being well behind or you're trying to utilize your big unit count.
No, I think you're right, actually. Death Aura now for map 3.
Yeah, that blink, though, was...
questionable for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of odd to see him execute an attack like that. We're tied up 1-1, and our game has loaded up. SOS vs. Zest continues on.
2021 GSL Season 1. Team NV, SOS. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Pylon going down there for SOS. Not sure what it's
yeah.
really about. Okay.
Oh, he cancels it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, SOS is actually, I think Party does this a little bit, but SOS is one of the only players that will incorporate faked cannon rushes. Or faked.
Yeah.
He'll throw a pylon out there just to see if you...
Well, those are the two players with the image, right? Where you're like, it could be a cannon rush.
Yeah. Like a lot of good players are quite strong at making it look like they're playing normally when they cheese, but SOS and Party will sometimes make it look like they're cheesing when they're playing normally.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing.
You got to play your image, right?
Yeah.
It's important. It's one of those really cool mind games that exists.
Yeah.
All right, so Zest actually took a lot of damage on that probe, but did get it away long enough to regenerate those shields. Everything looking pretty normal overall, despite the little mind game in the beginning.
It is funny when you see a player not even flinch when that comes down.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
I always do appreciate that, actually.
Yeah.
As I tell you, someone makes like a pylon faking a cannon rush, you see like half my probe line move, and then I'm like, oh, I might be overreacting. Then most of them go back and like 3 or 4 go.
But yeah, when you see them just put it and nothing happens and it cancels, it's like, cut it out, weirdo.
I'm like, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
It's totally sick.
We've got the double gate pumping out an Immortal and sorry, actually 2 sentries here for Zest. Not an Immortal, it's 2 Stalkers here. What am I talking about? Sorry, guys, they both have 4 legs. It's really confusing. Stalkers, Immortals, Horses, all of them, I can't tell them apart.
Oh, I thought you were saying sentries have 4 legs. I'm like, no. Sentries are
Sentries hover, is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Or do they have like 1 wheel under them?
1 wheel.
Yeah. Why not? Like that Jetsons robot?
Yeah, well, I guess we can't really see. No, but actually, if you like zoom in correctly, I bet you can see underneath. But I think they do hover.
You don't think they have little duck feet under there?
That would be amazing. They move so smoothly that would be like the best duck feet ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, maybe they're duck feet with like rollerblades on.
Oh, that could be.
Maybe they're 2 duck feet with tank treads on the bottom.
Oh, that's a good image. Forge comes down here for Zest. That is usually telegraphing a slower start for him. Like, as in he wants to build up. He's not going to try to attack right away. That's basically what we're looking for to signal that it's going to be a macro game from him. But we don't have that yet here for SOS. We're still waiting.
Yeah, I think SOS will probably go Dark Shrine. He does have that hidden pylon down at the bottom left. And other than that, his build looks normal. So yeah, there it is, the Dark Shrine. But everything looks normal enough, I think, that as this Phoenix comes over, you're not too much wondering where everything is, you know? Ooh, but maybe he is. Another Phoenix going out.
Yeah, is he going to catch this? The
He's
Phoenix
really
is
looking for it.
zigzagging. The hallucinated Phoenix is. Is he going to actually get there, though? We see this all the time where they just barely don't scout that spot. He is not going to see it.
Yeah, I almost feel like at this point, pros should be like looking where they shift click and be like, where do I barely not go to? And then just only go there.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many games where this happens.
It really
It's like, damn, you just didn't quite see it.
Yeah, that's rough. Because he really did look there. But now maybe he needs to zigzag the top of the map.
Some more gates coming down.
Zest just had his robo finish at Observer first.
Okay.
Very fortunate for Zest.
Yeah, had he not had that, this would be much more of a headache, but
yeah, something could go wrong.
It is an interesting, very delayed DT tech here. But he can always just switch this into Archons as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's not quite time for Archons as of yet. He'll probably have to go kind of heavily on those Blink Stalkers for a bit. Third Nexus coming up for both players.
We're really getting into the macro game phase here. Zest is going to have his +1 attack finishing first. That will be bad news for SOS if he either attacked or attacks his opponent in between that time where it's upgrading, but you have to assume he'll avoid that kind of a situation.
We actually, I mean, there's just not a DT being made, right? I don't believe he's made a single DT.
Yeah, I guess not.
Interesting.
So plus
this is the long con.
+2 is coming now as well here for Zest.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like just a slightly better game for Zest, but it's not that far off. Okay, the first 2 DTs being made. Let's see what they do.
Where is it? Over by that pylon where the
I believe they're warping over there, but I can't quite tell. Dude, amount of Phoenixes, fake Phoenixes we're seeing fly around. If you're hallucinating this much, maybe they're real and you're fake.
You're funny today, Artosis. So, again, we have the charge upgrade also a little bit ahead here. Zest is just trucking along here. And I think we might even have that push actually come now from SOS. Intended to line up with his
anything though, can he?
I don't think so.
Right
no,
now?
I think Zest is pretty safe.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be as the +1 finishes, but SOS actually turns around on the mini-map. Seems like he came halfway down there, but it doesn't seem like either side really has an incentive to attack yet. We do have warp prisms coming, so sometimes that could be a signal that, you know, since you can warp in the middle of the map with that, we will have some kind of an attack. But
well, generally the best time to attack if you've gone like Blink and Immortal is at +2.
Right.
That's like, especially if you got your Forge when Zest got it, you know your opponent does not have +2 before you. You know that you're up and upgrade no matter what. They could have chronoed until the cows come home, and they just will not be at the same +2 as you.
Until the cows come home, man.
Yeah, that's an important saying.
Do people let their cows leave, and do the cows actually come back?
Yeah. Well, they have to graze, Tasteless. What are you going to do with your cows? You're not going to let them
graze behind a fence?
Well, I mean, that would be an awfully big fence if you have a lot of cows. Like, normally you have a gigantic amount of area, and the cows go grazing, and, yeah, eventually they'll come home, yeah.
This cow pro gamer over here. You just know everything.
Jesus. You didn't raise cows?
No.
Didn't you live in Kansas?
We didn't have any cows. We didn't have any cows in my family.
Aren't you from Kansas, Tasteless?
I know. I was a real outcast there without my cows.
Now the charge lot's getting on top of the army of Zest here really well.
Yeah, tons of damage coming down. The Immortal now out on the outside here. The Archon's continuing to attack in here. He does get the kill on the Immortal.
Yeah, and Zest's going to have to turn around and flee.
The cows have come home.
I guess they have.
Yeah.
And now these other cows chasing those cows out of here.
That is a pretty nasty beating that Zest took there.
Yeah.
Still a lot of complexity for the Army here for SOS. He's got the Archons, just Stalkers, which is usually a very bad sign.
And yeah, it looks like Zest is just going to try to stay busy with these Stalkers, and he's going to have to. If he's going to win this game, he needs to start gaining value with these right away. He needs to like slow this down, pick units off.
Oh, is he just going to go all the way up here? This is kind of a funny looking attack. I guess he realizes he just wants to fight exactly where the base is, since the Stalkers can't blink too much further back than that. Nice pull away with that Archon up there in the north. Going to actually come through the Guardian Shield. It is finally picked off, but there's so much damage coming down here. Hey, where'd the Warp Prism go?
The Warp Prism went for a counter, but
I
think he may have just F2'd it back.
Oh,
so
I
I
think
see
you
a
might be
red
right.
blip coming back right now, and like you don't really need a Stalker to help you lose this battle, or a Prism to help you lose this battle. Zest GG's, and SOS will take him out in the reverse sweep.
Hell yeah. SOS goes on to the winner's match. Always excited to see SOS play well.
Yeah. That was a strange one. Like, he just focused a little bit more heavily on charge lots, and Zest's attack just did not do it. You know, he did have the +2 advantage against +1. He had the good amount of Immortals and Stalkers,
right.
But that army against Zealots is a little bit tough.
Yeah, I feel for Zest in that last game, but bad engage there. And now we're going to have that winner's match, guys. SOS versus Trap is just around the corner. Don't go away. We're going to fill in one of the last two spots here for the round of 8 here in the GSL Code S.
Jump into that car tonight. I'm not leaving without a fight. Let me be something. You wanna keep your head. If I ain't your girlfriend, I won't let go of your hand. Disappointed, 'cause you never see me. I'm better than you think of you. You're not very simple, you. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, will you love me? Let me be something that you never imagined. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, or just love me. Something that you never imagined. Let me be something. You wanna keep your head. Disappointed, 'cause you never see me. I'm better than you think of you. You're not very simple, you. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, will you love me? Let me be something that you never imagined. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, or just love me. Something that you never imagined.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내룩의 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨.
이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking apart. Step by step, to push ahead. Winter's kind. Gives you breath. We will come. From now you're known. Take my hand. Keep looking up.
Round of 16. Trap. Armani. SOS. Zest. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
Welcome back to GSL Code S. It's time for our winners match. We're going to have SOS versus Trap. I'm very excited for this one. I think SOS could possibly cause an upset here and win. I know he has not performed as well as we've seen in the past, but, you know, if he can pull a little bit of that cheesy SOS play out and get away with it, I'm for that.
Honestly, it didn't feel like he should have beaten Zest in that series, but that's oftentimes how SOS rolls.
It was a weird series, for sure,
that
we saw back there with those two, especially the last two games.
Yes, well, those were the SOS wins, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the first one was just some crisp execution on a one-base build, and just took him out.
I'll tell you, though, SOS is honestly my favorite player to cast. Casted a lot of StarCraft, but I always get excited to see what he's going to do because he is the person that shows us what, the craziest things you can get away with in an RTS.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to see something a little bit different from the games that he's already shown, right? Because so far he did like the a weird Max Packs variant build, and then he went into Oracles that game. And then the other 2 games were DT builds, right? But they were not what you would expect from DT builds even.
Well, they were builds that had DTs in them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I don't know if we called them DT builds.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially the one where he made the Dark Shrine, then it was like 10 minutes, and then he made 2 DTs.
Yeah.
And he made an Archon out of them.
Yeah, it was a weird one for sure. I think we're going to be on camera for a little bit longer. I think they're doing the Hot 6 plug down there.
Okay. Hot 6. Get it,
I want to
guys.
jump into this game, but we can't just yet. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, for the show. Yeah, I mean, do you think Trap's going to win this easily, or are you a
Trap's favored? I think.
Yeah,
but
I think it's
SOS,
fair.
like, I mean, he can throw a wrench into any plans. But yeah, I think if I was Trap, like watching those games, I guess that I would just be thinking to myself, I should make sure I get an observer. You know, I should make sure that I have like some sort of anti-DT tech overall. But I think Trap will just play probably a pretty steady series, like, you know, maybe like a proxy robo game and then like a couple expand games, something like that.
Yeah, something like that for sure. I mean, there's so many PvPs that are going to be happening today.
Very likely.
Yeah, very likely. So you probably have to come in here with 9 or more different builds or different ideas
Someone
you're
might need
completely
that,
ready to do. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that would be SOS too, right? Like, we're going to need his creativity if he goes up to 9.
I've been a little bit bummed that SOS hasn't been winning like he used to.
He had a terrible year last year.
He had a really bad year.
Yeah.
And I think halfway through last year, I finally realized he was actually just not going to win. I kept not believing that the times he would lose, it was a fluke. And SOS has never actually won a GSL.
I know, it is really
weird. Which is
weird.
another weird thing. 2-time world champion, but has never...
2-time GSL finalist as well. And it's kind of painful, right? Like, he lost to Bjorn. That was Bjorn's meteoric rise that gave him the world championship.
Right.
And then he also lost to Innovation. So it's like, well, I mean, those are pretty good players to lose to. 2 of the 4 horsemen of Terran, and 2 of the
very
greatest
different
players
Terrans.
ever. But yeah, it is kind of weird. And at this point, I've like kind of lost hope on him winning a GSL. That would be a miraculous run if he could do it now.
He seems to thrive better when the game is being patched a lot. You know, we're not having new expansions come out for StarCraft 2, but if there were like new units added or something, then maybe that's his moment that he can begin to innovate and bend the rules a little bit. But you know, the longer a game is out for, generally speaking, the conservative play tends to take over.
Yeah, but here, let's look at it this way too. Honestly, like this could be like a crazy upset season for him. If you look at the bracket that exists, the player I think he can't beat in it is Rogue. So if he gets like first place in this group, then he's on the other side of the bracket, and it's mostly like Terran players there, and you know he can manufacture wins there.
Something can happen to Rogue. I do think Rogue is the most likely player that's going to win this, but, you know, maybe Rogue screws up somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, if he does screw up, I think it'll be in the round of 8, and I think it'll be against like a Trap would be like the guy that could do it. I think.
Right.
So
this is an extremely important match here. We're going to see who's going to be advancing first.
Yeah, SOS could have a 6th season if he beats Trap here. But again, if he loses and gets out second in the group, then he has to play Rogue first, and I can't see it, Tasteless. I can't see that victory.
Just a best of 3. It's doable. We're going to go to GSL Nautilus here for game 1.
Oh, that's SOS's map. You made a mistake, Trap. You made a mistake.
Trap, how could you? We'll have Romanticide, and if we do go to map 3, Death Aura. Our game is now loading up. SOS versus Trap in this best of 3. The winner gets the second to last place remaining in the round of 8. Let's go.
2021 GSL Season 1.
Dude, I want Sky Toss and a hidden base here from SOS. I will accept nothing less on a 4-player map.
Team NV, SOS. Africa Freaks, Trap.
Oh, I'm liking it already, Tasteless. Is Trap going like Nexus first? SOS is in the center of the map already. Oh my god.
What's he gonna do?
So Trap is going Nexus first, which we never ever see. So that's already really cool.
Probably because it's a 4-player map.
Yeah, I would say so.
So let's talk about this a little bit because we don't normally ever have 4-player maps. We have them a lot in Brood War. We also have a lot of 3-player maps in Brood War. There are other variables that you've got to watch out for. I mean, the obvious one is going to be scouting. You can't scout immediately. It eliminates a lot of proxies. I mean, you can still hide stuff, but some of the more standard proxies engineered to hammer your opponent quite quickly, you just can't do it. Or you could do it, but it'd be a very bad probability it works if you put it in the wrong spot. Hidden bases are also a much bigger factor on 4-player maps because the map is not as easily cut in half. So these are all things we want to watch out for, but it's kind of crazy to see the different builds at play here, especially from Trap.
Yeah, and even from SOS, I'm like a little bit confused what this build was because he sat in the center with a probe for a really long time and then went top left and now is going top right. So he's going to get here. He's going to see the Nexus as it's finishing. And he just, his head moved enough that I think he's pretty caught off guard by this opener.
Yeah, well, that's scary. You scout that late and you realize, oh, I'm really behind if I don't attack him right away. But and I feel like this build is pretty well balanced so that you're ready for an attack as it comes.
Yeah, you don't go into this game with a Nexus first build unless you know how to stop the things your opponent will probably do when they scout it.
Right.
Right, because it's so non-meta, it's like people are not spending much brain energy thinking, oh, if someone Nexus first on this 4-player map and I scout them late, what do I do, right?
Yeah.
There's like probably almost zero thought put into that. So whereas on Trap's side, he's thinking, okay, what would I do? What would he do? How do I stop that? Okay, so the couple of depths, I mean, obviously, SOS getting ready for that. Oh my god, really?
Ill-timed pylon cancel. Now, there are 2 Stalkers here that can kill off at depths pretty fast.
That was great micro from Trap. He could have lost a lot more here, but that's still obviously a lot. It's so funny, right? Like, even with the best laid plans, maybe he should just let that finish, honestly. That pylon. Yeah. A finished pylon that blocks your circulation is probably not as bad as those 6 probes right there.
SOS's Oracle is coming up now, headed towards this expansion. The fact that he got those probes is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And that's one of the only ways you could try to play catch-up there, and he actually did pull it off. Now we have a Twilight Council.
Twilight Council coming for SOS as well.
Yeah.
Comes in, and there's no battery here, so he gets a couple more probes.
Yeah, he's just barely going to not kill that Oracle. That's insane.
Trap out in the middle of the map with a probe. See if he has any plans with that.
Now, I think they're going to go for Blink, but it, of course, is possible to do DT tech here.
Yeah, that is possible. And, I mean, the Oracle got good scouting done. DT would not be bad choice for SOS, I think. He could probably get away with it. Yeah, there it is. And you know what? Like, really looking at this situation, it's 32 to 31 probes. So Trap is up by 1 probe, and SOS is going to have 2 distinct techs. Yeah, it feels like SOS has done very well for himself here. Now, that being said, there are some stalkers walking towards him right now.
Right.
How many units does he actually have?
Not sure. Those adepts are going to shade in here and get a glimpse into what's happening in SOS's base. A pretty good,
man.
Oh my god.
He sees the Dark Shrine tasteless.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
It's so far away from finishing too.
And honestly, you don't expect 2 adepts right then. You really do not. You don't keep the probe at your ramp forever. So that was a pretty creative, cool move from Trap.
Yeah, normally we see the double adepts very, very early on in the game, and then it's sort of eliminated as an option of what you could do there. But the fact that he then sent it in later, that's great. That works out. He got 4 probe kills.
It couldn't have been more valuable because now he's going to have detection. Like, that could have been an auto loss, and instead he gains a huge advantage from it.
Right.
Because now you're sitting here with DT tech. That's not going to really do anything for you as SOS, other than force observers. Now, SOS took a 3rd base very quickly when this happened, which is, I think, the best you can do in this situation, right? If your opponent has to get detection now, that's the least aggressive thing a Protoss player can do is get detection. So it kind of allows him to take this.
Both sides are going to have Blink. We do have Trap here with the opportunity to be on the offense. It looks like they're actually going to end up engaging each other right here in the middle of the map. Got to be careful.
That's actually funny because Trap had more Stalkers and Blink, and SOS was just barely not done Blink yet. He's going to finish it just now.
Yeah, now the Warp Prism comes into play. We see the Forge here for SOS. Did Trap not get a Forge?
Oh, I don't think he did.
I don't see one.
I don't think he did. Like, he's had to cut a couple corners when he took all that damage early on.
But he's going to have to eventually get a Forge, or he's going to need to try to end the game.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options. Either start upgrading, or you need to play with some kind of an attack. And it looks like he, well, we don't see anything yet. We have Charge coming down here for SOS.
Yeah, and we actually just had a Prism from Trap. Is he actually going to try to attack, or is this going to be harassment?
I think he's going to try to just run in and end the game.
Interesting.
Because everything else, I mean, the third base is nice, and he'll have probes there, but we need to see more development.
Right. He actually spots that stasis ward, which is a very important moment as well. But yeah, I think he's going to be able to bludgeon down this base. But Charge is on the way. That's a lot of Stalkers, man.
Yeah. So this is a very sharp timing attack. He takes the battery out. Force fields come down, moving just away ever so slightly here.
He's get the sentries.
Just an insane angle over here. He's going to go for the Warp Prism, though.
Yeah,
Big denial
there.
I can't believe he had the Warp Prism that close. That's one of the only ways that he might end up losing this fight. But there's so many Stalkers here, honestly, I think it doesn't matter.
I think you're right about that. A lot of probes come out and fighting, and thus dying. Nothing left here for SOS, and Trap's going to take game number 1. Wow.
GG, yeah.
That was a bit back and forth.
It's funny because SOS looked to be played more proper. You know, you see the Forge coming, you see the upgrades coming, you say, oh, no, that's exactly what you want to do. But Trap says, what if I get bitten by a radioactive Stalker and become Stalker Man?
Well, he certainly was Stalker Man there. I feel like the 2 Adepts were the best thing Trap did that entire game.
Yeah.
Those 2 Adepts that came in a little bit later, again, you don't really expect that. SOS didn't have a probe waiting to try to block something like that. It was this kind of weird middling time where you don't have a lot of units. But based on what had happened, you kind of know that your opponent's on Stalkers. He has the Twilight, so you know he's going Blink, and you have Oracle, so you know he's trying to defend those with the Stalkers. So the 2 Adepts getting the probes plus scouting the DT tech, allowing him to get into this position. Just beautifully done by Trap, and a well-deserved victory there in game number 1.
And now we go to game number 2. Our map is Romanticide. Trap with a 1-0 lead.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes.
Team NV, SOS. Africa Freaks, Trap.
I have a mild disappointment we haven't seen a Cannon Rush yet.
Give it time.
Give it time.
SOS has got one in his
we'll
back
have one
pocket.
today? You think we'll have one?
I hope so.
Parting is more likely for that, but SOS...
SOS could do it against Armani, too, if we end up with that
yeah,
matchup.
That's true.
That's
true.
totally possible.
Yeah. Don't ever count that out. Second gate coming down on both sides.
I really can't stop thinking about that last game that Trap played where he just kind of went YOLO with the Stalkers. He's like, what are you doing? Are you getting upgrades? What are you doing?
Yeah, he was just slightly up, and he had the 2 sentries. And
those upgrades in tech buildings could have been gateways and Stalkers, you fool.
Yeah, it was really well done. Killer instinct.
Yeah.
Trap is very impressive today. Continuing onwards from, again, he's had such a successful past 6 months or so. So many tournament wins and deep finishes, and here he is, just showing it again. Round of 16.
Yeah, I do have my fingers crossed for a Cannon Rush. We have one pylon out on the middle of the map here for SOS. We don't have tech in it, so this could just be a launching pad for an attack.
Yeah,
or
you
a
might
push
just do
of some
something
sort.
like stalker pressure. You know, if your opponent makes like a sentry and tries to expand, they could be in trouble if you just kind of put some pressure on with that. Get a little bit of an edge. All right, Trap throws down the pylon to see which units are going to pop out. Yep, there's a third gate.
Very cool.
So
Okay.
yeah, just a 3-gate attack going to be coming up from SOS.
Yeah, this is actually quite strong.
Yeah, this is a
And
great build.
It looks very simple, and it is very simple, but it's very good.
It's one of the bedrocks of the matchup. Is the 1 proxy gate, 3-gate stalker attack. It's if they make the Nexus, it's like, especially if they make a sentry, you are feeling fantastic. Okay, shield battery going up the wall just to block that probe from getting in. So he does not know as of yet about that proxy gate. Yep, down goes the Nexus. 2 sentries on the way. This is pretty good for SOS. Like, I think he'll be able to knock out the Nexus.
Yeah, things are lining up perfectly. Like, if you know your opponent is going to get a Nexus, this is a really ideal moment.
Yeah.
To come in. Warp Gate's just around the corner here.
4 Stalkers versus 4 Stalkers here. And that's a better first volley for SOS. Ooh, good micro, though. Let's see how Trap does.
Ooh! SOS
Very good
barely
micro on
getting
both
that
sides.
away.
Oh, he goes in the bush. You got to be careful about that. He was kind of baiting to see if there was going to be a bush attack there. There wasn't. 3 more Stalkers coming down for the flank against the hurt Stalkers. Oh, this is a huge moment. Trap knows he's in trouble now.
Yeah. Takes out 1 Stalker. We have 1 other Stalker in the yellow, the other in the orange. The battery's about halfway done, but the attack here from SOS is going to start right now.
And he's got a lot of damage onto some of these. Now, a couple force fields come off, and he does pick a Stalker with that. But the shield battery can be picked off very quickly. Oh, he actually loses one of his damage Stalkers there, but does get another one. Starting to work out.
Yeah.
All right.
Honestly, Trap is trading pretty well here. I mean, there is going to be an extra gateway. There's going to be, you know, for SOS, you can increment Stalkers out a little bit more quickly. But if these batteries finish, I think he holds.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like we missed like a warp in or something from SOS.
I agree.
Didn't it feel like we should have had 3 Stalkers come more quickly and then only 2 came?
Yeah, like when he was leaving.
Oh, he made 2 Adepts. Where are they? Oh, no, he just made those.
Is he going to try to shade these into the main, or does he want to try to take a fight? Trap has a probe at the ramp. Here we go. Pylon mutes that tactic.
Yeah, he can't do anything now.
I think that actually Trap is going to survive this.
Yeah.
And I think...
But, you know, PvP can be a fickle beast here, right? Because, like, he just kind of forced Trap to do nothing but make units, throw down a couple batteries and everything. And now look at the worker count. It's even. It's like everything is... It's okay, right? He went 3-gate, yes. But there's not, like, a huge advantage for Trap here. He's got his own Nexus up. It wasn't really that far behind Trap anyway.
The Dark Shrine is coming.
Dude, he has gone Dark Shrine now 4 games out of 5.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he really likes that building.
And we've got a Robo started here, but it's not for Trap. It's for SOS. What is coming as far as detection goes? You know, this is another... Oh, well, I guess actually he has an Observer out. That's that's going to be that.
He comes out to hunt those 2 Adepts that have been forcing over and over. Honestly, that 1 Adept that died paid for itself just in canceled shield batteries and lost mining time. Dark Shrine should be finishing pretty soon here, but the Observer going to be out for Trap. Oh, the Dark Shrine's there?
Oh, that's also a weird spot to put it at, too.
That is a weird spot to put it at.
I guess he didn't want it to be scouted, so he cancels that when it's at 99% completion, kills the pylon. Trap really doing a great control game so far, just kind of shutting SOS down at every step. He's going to outgrow him now, too, by getting another expansion up here.
Well...
And, I mean, that's such a lost investment with the Dark Shrine.
Yeah, a lot of time investment there. Like, obviously, he got to cancel and got most of the money back, but that was, like, kind of a part of his strategy.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he has sentries, so you are worried about hallucinated, you know, Phoenixes coming in and seeing that. Maybe he thought he was going to go super heavy on Blink and, like, just do, like, a big Stalker attack again, and maybe could get away with just sneaking a DT in for a victory. So it's a bit coin flippy from SOS and definitely does not pay off.
So SOS takes his third here. He's got Immortals out. His Robotech is being built in. Once again, we've got the Forge here for SOS, but Trap this time is actually going for upgrades here too. So we're not going to have any kind of weird Stalker build-up, snowball-y play.
You know what? I got to say I like where SOS is going with this right now. It looks like he's going to go into Disruptor, which I think is, if you get like a little bit behind, you can definitely make a game, like anyone's game, by going into Blink Disruptor. You know? You can, once you hit the right amount of Disruptors, then your opponent kind of, it's like, well, they should probably be going Disruptor as well. And then it just turns into those, you know, those funny situations where it's like just a lot of Disruptor shots, Blink Stalkers, and then eventually some Blink DTs in there. And that's the type of game I think that SOS can excel at, and especially considering Trap kind of has outmaneuvered him a little bit.
Mass gates over here. Big production explosion.
The very first thing that SOS gets is Observer Speed.
That's funny.
That's cool. I like it. Observer Speed is really good. It's a great upgrade. Surprise,
and the second Forge here as well. So we're going to have +1 or +1 attack and armor here coming for SOS. We only have one Forge here for Trap.
That's
just something we want to point out here because this is becoming, you know, a big build-up right now.
Are we sure that was the second Forge?
That was the second Forge.
Okay, because
wait, am I crazy?
Like, if you're going Disruptor, I feel like 2 Forge is like not on the top of your wish list.
Did I see it wrong? I thought there was a Forge making, and I saw the upgrade coming here too.
I think it was the first Forge. Like,
okay,
if you're getting
maybe I'm
armor
wrong.
upgrades forcing Disruptor Wars, that's like,
It is
there
2 Forge.
You're
Okay,
right.
all right, I'm not crazy.
Okay.
No, I agree with what you're pointing out though. That like that does seem to be a little bit odd, right?
Yeah, if you're relying on Disruptors a lot, it's kind of like more about maneuverability and everything. I mean, it's not that expensive, so maybe not a big deal, but just a little bit surprising. All right, so he does have a good amount of Disruptors, but this army of Trap is like so strong right now. He needs a very high-quality Disruptor hit. All right, let's see if he hits it. Oh, he turns there, and that does not work out. Okay, the second one, not quite enough, I think, but he does have that overcharge. It is getting targeted down, but he's utilizing the surface area very, very well, pulling back in between buildings, not letting the Zealots get as many hits as they want. Now, that being said, still a much stronger army for Trap. Another Disruptor comes out. He's just unable to really hit.
Yeah. This is going to be it. Trap is just dumpstering SOS here. GG.
He mangled him. I don't even feel like SOS... Like, I like where SOS was going, but Trap's killer instinct was so high today in both matchups. He was just clearly the best player in this group.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, he just had a very good handle on PvP.
And PvZ as well.
Right.
He just looked monstrous in every way.
He gets out extremely easily. Like, I knew that he was probably the most likely guy to advance, but kind of almost making SOS look like he didn't understand how to develop in PvP. It was a strange series for sure.
Yeah. Well, SOS, he gets to go to the final match. I think he still has a decent shot of getting out of this group, but he will get, whoever gets out second has to play Rogue, which I think is maybe the favorite of the tournament right now.
We're going to go to we're going to an interview now with Trap. Let's see how he's feeling.
Among the 3 Protosses in Group D, Trap is the first one to move on to the round of 8. Congratulations. Thank you. Wow. It is your 7th consecutive round of 8. How do you feel? Well, today while preparing for the games, you know, my group mates are all very strong players, so I didn't have much expectations coming here. But you know, I'm glad everything worked out well. Alright, let's go with the winners match. You picked GSL Nautilus as the first map. And SOS went for the 2 adepts into your base. But it was quite interesting how you won that set. So can you talk us through about it? Well, it's a 4-player map. And then, you know, for scouting, you have to have some luck if you want to succeed. So, you know, luck definitely plays a very instrumental role in that map.
그래서 이제 생더블을 준비하게 됐어요.
And then that's why I went for the second Nexus without the gateway.
첫 경기 저그전 이야기 해보겠습니다.
Alright, let's talk about the Zerg matchup. You gained a 2-0 victory against Armani.
러쉬로 판짜기를 해오셨는데
And you went for the timing rush in both games. So why did you went for the timing rush?
게임 양상이 적부전 게임 양상이 너무 뻔하기도 하고.
Well, looking at the PvZ these days, you know, everything's really the same.
게임을 하는 것 같아서 그런
And I feel like the Zerg players are just playing too comfortably. So I wanted to kind of twist things up.
그래서 이제 승부를 보자라고.
So that's why I went for the timing rush at the beginning.
경각심을 또 갖게 되는 경기가 됐겠네요.
Well, I think the Zerg players are going to be very alarmed with this match today.
슈퍼 토너먼트 2부터 올해 슈퍼 토너먼트 1 우승까지.
Well, you won 2 super tournaments, 2 consecutive super tournaments, and it feels like your mindset towards the matches are very good right now.
또 8강에 테란이 4명이 올라와 있어요.
In the round of 8, there are 4 Terrans right now.
이 분위기 좀 어떻게
So how are you looking at these matchups right now in the round of 8?
요즘에 테란 선수들은
Well, these days,
항상 조용히 강하게
the Terran players are always very silent but very skilled.
원래 있던 일인 것처럼 테란이 강세구나라고.
And it feels like the Terran is the superior race right now.
신영이 형이라서 그 테란 상대가 이제 신영이 형이라서 다행인 것 같아요.
But I'm glad that my opponent will be innovation out of the Terran players.
테란 선수들이 쟁쟁하고 무섭고 조용히.
Well, Trev, you say the Terran players are really strong, but you're glad that innovation is your opponent. What does this mean?
그냥 일단 상대하는 게 편해서.
Well, it's really easy to play against innovation, so that's why. Easy to play against, okay. I think innovation will be very furious after hearing that. Alright, let's see how you perform in the round of 8. So before you go, anything you want to say? So I watched the Group C matches. I really did want to play against innovation after watching the matches. But I think this is the best scenario for me. So I'm going to try to make thorough preparation for the round of 8, and I'll try to deliver a good performance. Once again, congratulations, Trap. Thank you.
Cool, Trap moves on. That means we've got one more spot remaining for the round of 8.
That's right.
3 players left.
Are we going to get a second Zerg to go through? Oh, it's a tough one. It could be though.
I don't think he's going to go through.
No, I think if he beats Zest, he will beat SOS. So I give him.
Zest is pretty good though, man. I think
Zest is pretty good.
Zest is pretty good.
You're
Don't
right.
you
That's
remember
a
how
good
you were like very
analysis.
excited about Zest here earlier on?
Well, and then he said like he has no motivation. He's going to the military. So
a short break. We'll be right back.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와. 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내룩의 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨.
이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Round of 16. Trap. Armani. SOS. Zest. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and we're ready to eliminate one of our two players. Armani versus Zest is up next.
All right, Armani Zest. This could be a very good match, I think. I can't wait to see what Zest actually has prepared for PvZ at the moment. He's very oftentimes the leader of the matchup strategically. Armani didn't look bad, especially Game 2. Game 1, he kind of got caught off guard there. Trap was saying in the interview that Zergs are playing too comfortably, so he wanted to get him. And that's something that Zest is very good at. He's good at getting them.
Good at getting them. This should be a great match, actually, these two guys.
I think it'll be pretty good. But yeah, maybe Zest is a little favorite here.
Well, he's always a safe bet, right? But Armani's been working hard. I mean, I really do appreciate this guy's story, you know, especially that he's been improving, you know, more and more as the years pass here.
Sure.
After oftentimes being in the background of the StarCraft 2 Korea scene, really. We're going to go on to Romanticide for map 1. This is Armani versus Zest.
2021 GSL Season 1. We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes. Africa Freaks, Armani. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
So, you know, just the hatchery block. Goes ahead and decides to take that as the first expansion. Down the ramp. I wonder what that signifies. Zest check the other base first, thinking that might be the one. But with Armani taking that one, does that mean that he wants to stage an attack?
Yeah, let's find out.
He's kind of going a little bit closer towards us. Hard to say.
Yeah, sometimes you can take these positions where, you know, your opponent's trying to interfere with your pretty ordinary development and then turn that into some kind of an attacking spot, something like that. We will see. You know, Zest historically, excuse me, Zest historically has really been the guy that showed us what you can get away with Adepts. But the Adept has been a unit that has, I think, not aged well as far as the meta is concerned. Like it's still good, and there's still builds you can do with it, but you know, I always, whenever I think about the Adept and how over the top it was, there was a cast I was doing. I think this was at SPO TV, and was I solo casting it, or was I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but it was like watching Maru do everything amazing in the world to try to hold off Adepts.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hype along with it, and I'm starting to scream even more, and then I'm starting to realize even Maru's not going to stop the Adepts.
Yeah.
And they got nerfed more and more and more.
Yeah, that was fun.
As time passed, but also I think the Adept was a unit that was so novel in that we didn't have units that moved like that, especially in big groups. But people have also just sort of learned how to deal with it, learned how to trace the shades.
And its stats used to be a lot better, right? So it did get significant nerfs. But yes, like, and we talked about this a little bit last time when Zaun was playing, I think, where the Adept, what it does is mostly tactical. There's actually not very much micro with it, and it's not a unit that scales all that well. So when you're beating someone with it, it's mostly tactical and tricky moves.
Yeah.
And over time, those are the exact moves that do not get better, you know? Like, you can every now and then, and this is part of the reason why Adepts rotate in and out of the metagame, is because people become unused to countering them and their movements. But the more you use them, and that's why, like, for a while, that Adept build, like, people were not really using Adepts, and then the Adept build that Zest made, not this past Katowice, but the one before that, where he got second place to Rogue, like, that was crushing for months, but people got better and better and better and better against it. And it's like, the Protoss can improve certain amounts with that type of unit, but there becomes a cap to how good it can get, right? And then it kind of rotates out.
Yeah, they got this Oracle actually taking quite a bit of damage, almost gets picked off, actually. And I like what you said about that with the Adepts. It's, you know, it is very true. These are the things that, like, everybody has to learn to deal with.
Yeah.
Whether it's Adepts or even these other rushes that come along, but eventually you learn how to hold it.
There's all sorts of units that are actually like this. Hellbats. There's not any micro to Hellbats. It's just like, this is what the unit does, and once you get used to it, it's not that strong. Cyclones are very much like that, right? It's like, well, there's a certain way to lock on, and then a 2-year-old can click the Cyclone away and stay out of range. Like, you have to just know how to fight against it. But then you have other units that have like an infinite skill cap, like Blink Stalkers, Stim Marines with Medivacs, those types of things, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I mean, the world is your oyster with these units if you're good enough.
You can do a lot with that.
So yeah.
What do you think about this build here from Zest? Double Stargate.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
This is what I've been wanting to see. I actually was like just talking to you and looking at you, but no, it's good to see, right? He goes directly into carrier. Oh,
wow,
that's kind of cool.
I was about to say he's going to make a bunch of Void Rays and then go directly into carriers, but
well, we saw something like this where it was like 2 carriers into gateways, right? Who did that the other day? Earlier on in the tournament. If I could look at the groups real quick, I'd know that instantly. But anyways. Look, I'm excited to see it. Like the 2 carriers, obviously, if something very quick came, it would be harder to hold. But he does have double Oracle, and he's not like over-committing with them. He did almost lose that first one, but they have pretty high energy, and they're keeping tabs on what's going on. So he's going to have the carriers out in time to defend if anything comes.
Yeah, this is. I do wonder, you know, just looking at this, is this something that is, idea-wise, intended to surprise the Zerg more? Like, the Zerg is just expected a more normal game, or would he at least be looking for the Void Rays to kind of signal, oh, the carriers are coming? Because it hasn't been scouted yet.
Yeah, it's going to now with the Overseer coming in. But the thing is, carriers scale perfectly well. Like, they're really, really strong, right? So he will scout this, but I don't think that, you know, he just has to go into a macro game. It's not like he can just go attack or anything right now. All right, so he's actually going to start clearing some creep with him. That's kind of interesting. There is a Spire on the way here for Armani.
Now,
so
do you want to go harder and harder into air with this, or are you trying to flip back into gateway tech?
Yeah, that is the question, isn't it?
I'm still learning.
Honestly, Romanticide, I want to see Zest just play a Sky Toss game.
Okay.
I think that is very doable because you can like mine those minerals, and then that 4th base is easy. And honestly, the 5th base isn't that far away. Now, wow.
This is a disaster.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is crazy. There's so many links coming in now. Probes have to be pulled. And I mean, I think the idea of what Zest wanted to do was pretty cool, but you do need to have the entrance corked.
Definitely a mistake here. 17 probes. That is absolutely brutal. Now, he's actually going for a Void Rays, a little switcheroo into that. Maybe he's expecting a big group of Corruptors to come across the map. Yeah, and there are the Corruptors.
Yeah, here they come. A lot of workers killed here.
Yeah, it really was.
Big, I mean, you know, kind of a needless loss. This is really just an error in kind of the you know, you need to check a couple boxes for your defense, right? And one of them is have that entrance closed.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit sad, actually, because we're not going to see what a clean Zest carrier game would have looked like. If Zerg can win. Zerg has a lot of opportunities from that successful attack, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, with Zest, it's very likely that he has something mathematically figured out where it's like, okay, I make this many, and it forces one of these 2 or 3 reactions, and this is how I crush that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, right now he's kind of forcing Corruptors out, and he's adding Void Rays, but look at this. He's getting charge behind it. So if your opponent is on Corruptors to counter your air, like either A, they don't counter it and you win, or B, they counter it, but they have so many Corruptors that suddenly your ground army becomes pretty scary. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing here. Robo on the way, he's still making voids. Charge is going to be finishing up. I actually thought he might go into like Blink or something, but...
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Instead, this is going to be a very steady push out. I think he's just taking a 4th here, right? He's not pushing. Oh no, he's still on 3 bases. I thought there was a probe under that army. Zerg's going up to 5 bases. Things are picking up very quickly here.
Yeah, his economy hasn't really been hiccuped at all. He's had a good worker count for quite some time. And I mean, you can't really do too much against this. Skytoss is very good defensively. Very, very hard to break. And like, even if he sent the Corruptors over and was able to do something, which you probably aren't going to be able to because he knows that you're going for Corruptors, so he's making Void Rays, right? But like, what are you going to do? Are you going to kill a building and then turn around and go home until that they have their ability cooldown? Like,
I might.
Yeah, no. Well, you should, but that's all you're going to get done. But yeah, a lot of gateways being made, so definitely we're going to have to switch into a gateway army.
Yeah.
Has those Archons in there to make the Corruptors
but he
that
never
much
got
worse.
Did he get Forges, though, like for upgrades? I don't think we've had upgrades for Protoss.
Yeah,
so this is like you could switch into ground, but you're going to have a worse army.
Well, he's going 4th base as well. Yeah, it's very interesting. Maybe it's a do what you can with the ground army, but switch back into Sky Toss. I don't know. He did get +1 air attack. I know that much.
Because I like the idea of the ground switch, but you have to have the upgrades behind it.
You would think so.
This is actually an old idea in StarCraft that sometimes you'll see this big tech switch and it looks great, but you didn't actually build up to it with your upgrades, and it's actually terrible then.
Okay, removing a lot of creep. The Corruptor's actually coming up from behind. Zest being a little bit sloppy there.
Yeah.
Loses 1 carrier for free.
That's a pretty big deal, man. I mean, the carriers are one of the best things you have, and to lose 1 out of the 4.
Yeah.
That's
25% of your carriers gone.
Yeah.
25%.
Right, 25%. More Warpins coming, more Archons coming. He's shuffling the spores down. There's a Ling counterattack. We don't have it on camera yet, but this is a pretty big deal because there's nothing protecting this. This is huge, actually. He can actually get the Nexus for that.
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of probes and the Nexus. Well, I guess we get to see how this attack does. A bunch of spores running forward, but obviously the gateway units can deal with that a little bit. I mean, I'm not really sure if this is going to be able to do it, Tases. It seems like Armani's just holding everything.
Yeah, I think Armani's just going to win the game. I mean, there's not that much on the ground, so maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I see all the air units are dead, but even though there's not that many upgrades, I guess if you only have Corruptors,
that's
what else can you do? I guess, actually, he's going to just keep pushing here.
He is. He took a lot of damage at home, but I guess it's all right.
Oh, now there's Mutas coming out.
He lost his Prism, though. Yeah, the Mutas, I guess, you can use the Mutas to try to hold, but your opponent does have double Stargate and +1, so they could counter that pretty hard as well.
Yeah, these Roaches are doing all right. Yeah, the Mutas are... Oh, I'm sorry, those are Corruptors. I was something like, there's suddenly a bunch of Mutas over there. All right, here we go. That's what our toast was talking about.
Well, the Archons are going to make that look really silly. He loses all of them instantly. All right, a yank here on that Immortal, and it looks like it's finally held. But who came out on top on this? Because Zest lost his 4th base and a ton of probes. Armani threw away his Corruptors, lost 32 drones and a base.
This has been a bloodbath of a game.
It really
this is
been.
really
He does have
crazy.
+2 attack, by the way, Zest. I just saw that upgrade tab, so yeah.
Good.
That was, wow. This is a very strange game. I feel like if Zest hadn't taken that initial damage, he would have steamrolled Armani there.
I think you're probably right. I think as crazy as that fight was, the biggest story of the game so far is when the Lings and the Roaches got in there and started to do just an insane amount of damage.
And then even that Ling counterattack that we saw in the 4th, to kill that Nexus and like 11 or 12 probes there, well, that's brutal for Zest as well, because if he had that up and running right now, imagine what his economy would look like. Just so much better.
So Zerg is going to have to be ready for another push from Zest here. Zest is coming out on the map once more, but he doesn't have a ton. In fact, I don't think he's really committed. There's no Warp Prism with this army. The 4th base is being reclaimed. I think we're going to have some time for both of the players to lick their wounds and try to rebuild back up. After that huge fight that we had, they were both under 100 supply. They lost a lot, but we don't have any more carriers here. I don't know if he's going to incorporate them a little bit later on. We do have Void Rays that are out, but we seem to be steering this game back into like a normal-looking PvZ.
Kind of, yeah.
Right?
Like we have Roach Ravager and then Vipers, which is kind of funny, and then we have like an almost normal-looking ground army, but then some Void Rays above it. Yeah, I'm not sure how this game is going to end up turning out. Both sides have gotten up to reasonable worker counts here so far, 70 against 60. Armani the lead there. High Templars, I think, a very important thing to add into this army now. That is a scary force. Don't see a Prism. Does have that Observer to clear some of this creep, though.
Ooh, catches that one Archon. Beautifully done. Gets another one.
Oh,
that one gets away, though.
Sick Vials there as well. Psystorm going down.
Yeah, and it does not appear that Zest is going to back off. Some Hydra's going to come down here with the rest of this mix. But this is a pretty aggressive push here from Zest. He's powering through some excellent storms again.
Yeah, a lot of good Vials are coming down, but Zest is splitting pretty darn well. Some more Zealots coming in for the flank. Yanks for the Immortal, then Stalker's actually blink in front of it, and it lives, and it looks like Zest is going to take him down. GG. Zest wins game number 1.
Very cool stuff there from Zest. I mean, considering what a insanely bad spot he got into with that Ling Roach attack to start, that he powered through it. We almost had the game reset after the first major fight, where Zest did not kill Armani with the push, but Zest reassembled, came in looking twice as strong.
Yeah.
And with excellent control, actually closed that out.
A lot of things went as well as they could have for Armani, and he still lost the game. So that's definitely an issue. Definitely, like, what Zest brought to the table here today, I think is much better than a lot of the other PvZs we've seen this round.
I agree. I totally agree.
Not Trap, but maybe everyone else.
We're going to Deathera. Kong versus Godzilla versus Deathera. That's the movie I want to see. You still haven't seen that, right?
I will never see it.
Don't go see it. It's
no
so
worries,
bad.
Faceless. Don't gotta tell me that twice.
It's so bad.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world.
Africa Freaks, Armani. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Zest has planned this game. Because, yeah,
Well, he's definitely not going to do that build again.
You don't think so? I think he might.
Really?
I think there's a decent chance. I think in a best of 3, Zest brings 1 to 2 strats generally.
I think we're going to see his 2 strat then.
Okay.
That was his 1 strat.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can just do that.
It actually looked very, very good, but the Lings and Roaches got in and made it much closer than it should have been.
Are you not supposed to go get some Void Rays first? It just seems like you're supposed to be having a couple Void Rays. I felt like that was the thing that... I think it's fine to get carriers in a game, but to do it off of almost nothing.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me. That's why I don't think you could have a repeat build like that.
Well, I think the Oracles were giving him enough intel where he could have gone Void Ray, but then he realized he could go carrier, right? Like, I think he can switch paths because you probably have to start producing before he starts the carriers, and then you can just make Void Rays and be all right. But the thing is, even the Void Ray build, Zest invented it. Like, that's actually his build that he showed everyone. Like, so the thing is, I feel like anytime I'm watching Zest play, whatever we're seeing is cutting edge. Like, he's bringing stuff. He's either bringing stuff that he already invented a long time ago and he hasn't updated yet, or he's bringing something that's like, okay, it's time for us to learn from this.
Yeah. Okay, the probe is being checking around over here. We got that Stargate already.
I like
Could be
it.
coming.
That's what I want. I want the Stargate. Now let's see if it's double Oracle, or maybe opens with the Void Ray, kill off the Scouting Overlords and things like that.
Yeah, this is...
You know, Armani actually has his Overlord turned around and leaving, and maybe this is a stylistic thing. Maybe this is why he didn't go for any... Because a lot of people go Void Ray first and clear the Overlord that's near their base. I actually wasn't paying super close attention at the beginning of that last game, but maybe this is an Armani-specific thing where he likes to run his Overlords back and just not lose any. Right? People have weird things that they do like this.
You know what I was thinking? Is it possible to just Nidus someone who's going carriers? Wouldn't that just kill them?
Oh, if they're going carrier? Yeah, if
but
it gets up, I could see it. I could see it. Well, with the Void Rays, like, if you're going the standard Void Ray build, no, I think that holds it. I think that, because, like, the quickest attack you can actually get there is not the Nidus, it's the Queens walking across the map build. And if you're non-stop on 2 Stargate Void Ray and you build shield batteries and produce out of, like, your 2 gates, you generally hold that. We saw a lot of Zergs just bash their head against that build trying that, and that's a little bit quicker than the Nidus one.
But the Nidus you could do somewhere in the main where they might not have the batteries and everything ready, and there's important tech that can be turned off.
But if you do go for the Void Rays, then you shouldn't be able to get an Overlord in there easily. Like, they should have hunted it down already, so it's, like, hard to get the Nidus in, I think. But yeah, if you got somewhere without, like, shield batteries and stuff, definitely. All right, defends this pretty well.
2 gates now.
All right, and a Twilight, so... I'm guessing
we're
it's
not,
Glaives.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Can't let the Glaives build.
Zest is like, it's time to bring it back.
Yeah.
Time to give the fans what they want.
The fans what they want.
The fans are cheering.
And all the fans.
They
Zerg players, Protoss players, Terran players especially. We just want to see more Glaives against Zerg.
They see the Glaives and it being chrono boost, and everybody goes, yeah! Screaming.
This is it!
Shade your death! Here we go. My Glaive pom-poms are out. Go, Zest!
Yep, it is being made. Third Nexus is going to be finished up. Now, this is not like the super fully dedicated one. Baneling Nest is coming.
Not an all-in. Still plenty of options for where he wants to take the game from here.
Actually, a little bit. Oh, she gets off. Wow.
Nice.
I actually thought he was going to get the Oracle, and then we looked away, and then it just got it off. Okay, cool.
Okay, more and more adepts are being made. Now, he sent out a small amount. You'd see that initial amount of adepts, and you wouldn't necessarily assume this is like a committed attack. And so now he knows.
Yes. All right, he has 6 Banelings morphing, so that's probably what will follow the Shades. This, I could see this attack doing something, right? Normally you have Roaches with this. Oh, he actually finishes a Shade on creep. That could be slightly problematic. Or not.
Yeah, the Baneling gets a very nice connect over there. There are some more Banes morphing here. If you can get these Banes just on top of those Shades, they do not manage to do so. Now, just like Marines, you can target the Banes with your Adepts.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. The range is not super great, but can be done. I love that wall-in that he did at his natural to stop the Shades from going up.
Yeah, that was
nice
a very
move.
smart move from him back there. Melee attack's almost done. We do have more gates coming down. We have a Robo about to finish. But I don't know that right now the Protoss can do that much more damage. But really, this was just like the appetizer attack.
You're right about that. 6 gateways on the way, so it's going to be a 10-gate push coming up.
That's going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, it is. It's just still warping in Adepts. Warp Prism on the way. Hydralisk Den coming up. Okay.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one to hold, but I think Armani can do this. It would be great if he caught this.
Yeah.
Because he could actually surround that, and then you could probably even catch some of the shading Adepts that are going away.
This is pure Adepts. Like, this is
what the fans
10-gate
wanted.
Adept with three sentries. That's what this is.
Everybody's getting excited. The Zest fans are showing each other their Adept tattoos.
You know, I just have a shade tattoo on my back, and I'm like, nah, you know where it finishes.
Goes right down Artosis' butt crack.
Yeah. All right, so Stalker's being warped in here to help out.
Yeah. He needs to push in a little bit further. Okay, he's now going to drag his army through.
Oh my
Very
God.
nice force field.
Yeah, everything kind of getting stuck there. Little group of Adepts up at the top, does get picked off. But he's on top of this third base. Throwing down some very good force fields. Of course, we don't have any Ravagers to stomp on them.
Yeah. Another big warp in here. The Queens are going to try to come and rush down the Warp Prism. They do kill it, but the warp-in does complete.
Yeah, I think he has enough damage to just kill all of this. He should probably... Oh, he actually lets the Shade finish.
Where are we doing? All right, there we go.
Okay,
We're going over here.
Yeah, the Stalkers definitely weren't going to win over there. He finishes this and is getting so many drones.
Oh, the Stalkers are not finished, Artosis.
My gosh. Yeah, I guess not. Well, I think that might be it for the last Zerg in this round.
Yep.
32 workers killed.
Yeah, even though I think the Zerg is going to eventually kill off these Adepts, the infrastructure has been just destroyed. 30 to 60. That's it. GG, Zest wins. Give me one more than PvPs.
All right, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to get, because Armani, unfortunately, last place in his group. Not the result he was looking for here today.
No.
But honestly, like, Trap and Zest both look pretty damn good PvZ right now.
I agree. Beautifully done there by Zest. And this is going to be a high note to end on. It's hard to know who to root for.
The rematch of SOS Zest, yeah. And I mean, they're both kind of very old school Protosses at this point with just huge careers behind them. And I don't, like, SOS beat him last time, but I don't think that actually means anything. I think this is like a coin flip matchup.
Yeah, I think it's very possible SOS could win. Guys, tiny break. Then when we come back, we're going to advance that last player to the round of 8. SOS versus Zest. Coming at you.
Felt so alive in my life, 'cause you make so alive in my life. 'Cause you make me come to life every time. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see? I'm crashing right into you. I'm crashing right into you.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 방토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내 룩에 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨.
이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
아이시스 에코. 오늘 내 룩에 찰떡.
마시고 분리수거 끝.
많은 분들이 아이시스 에코를 따르고 있습니다.
이것도 라벨이 없네?
무라벨은 따라해도 대환영. 팔로우디 에코. 아이시스 에코.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거. 깨.
이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Look where we are. We've made it far. The overgrowth is breaking apart. Step by step, don't rush ahead. Winter's kind.
Round of 16. Track. Armani. SOS. Zest. GSL Season 1. Code S. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. LG Ultra Gear and Hot 6 2021 GSL Season 1.
Okay, we won't. Yeah, I know there's still hope. Someone's going to move on. Yeah.
Somebody.
This is the final match for the round of 16. It's going to be a rematch with SOS. My cord is all over the place. A rematch with as S. You think so?
Yeah.
Do you think they can see the little glasses and the mustache on my tie?
Just
does it
barely,
show up,
yeah,
or does it look like I
if
just
they
have
a
food
full
on my
screen.
tie?
Well, you
what I
normally
wondered.
do have food on your tie, but not today.
Well, I got to keep them guessing our toes.
Is that a new tie today?
No, this is the same tie.
Oh, okay. I guess I just never paid
Artosis
attention to
pays such little attention to what they give us to wear that we could actually give him like a polka dot jacket. He'd be like, okay, there's
I just
my
put
clothes.
it right on. Be like, I think it
He'd
looks
be like,
good on me.
I'm a blazer. This is what I wear every day. Like,
This is what a confident man looks like, Tasteless. Someone who will just put on whatever clothes
whatever
he gives
clothes he's handed
and
to him.
rock them out.
Yeah, rock them
Rock
is the right
them
word.
out.
Look at Artosis rocking that blazer, man. So this is a rematch.
Yes.
SOS and Zest played before. SOS actually came out on top, but SOS has now lost a trap.
Yeah.
Zest defeats
during,
Armani.
During the commercial break, me and JYP were peeing together at the urinals, Tasteless.
Crossing
and,
the streams.
We
I get
agree.
it.
There's been too many dark shrines. SOS already used up all his tricks. This is going to Zest.
Artosis and JYP met up, started dropping the deuce together, talking between the stalls.
Yeah.
Said, you know
Passing
what?
notes underneath.
Yeah. Dan said, here's what I think about those Dark Shrine players. He went, got Nickelodeon humor here at GSL. SOS versus Zest, the rematch on Deathra.
Okay.
King Kong versus Deathra.
I love that Nautilus is the second map. I
Hell
love
yeah.
that.
And Lightshade is the third map. Guys, one more spot in the round of 8. It will go to SOS or Zest, whoever survives this best of 3.
2021 GSL Season 1.
Yes!
Yeah!
And here we go.
Yeah!
What? And they're going to pass each other. That's so funny. What are they doing?
What are they doing?
What are these guys doing, man?
Do they both commit?
Yes. You have to.
Gate in the main. Gate in the main.
Well, are you going to steal gas? Is that what the plan is? Look, he blocks both the gas steals.
So we had the possibility for a lot of aggressive play. None of it happened.
Yeah. Well, I think when your probes pass each other, what can you do?
No, I think there's pretty much nothing unless you're like way better than your opponent.
Oh!
That's what you
Get
do.
out of here! Oh!
Fatality.
Wrecked. So Zest versus Rogue in the round of 8, huh? That's kind of crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's...
Those are one of the winning conditions, right? Is take their gas.
So just to make it clear to people what was happening there, to steal a gas, basically if you put your miner right next to the gas, like you right-click on the geyser.
Yeah, like it's touching it.
Yeah, the gas can't be made. So it's a little play where you have your gas to prevent yourself from being gassed. You have your miner clicked on it, your probe there. But then your opponent also has a probe click there. So you have to actually chase that off. So he chased it with 2 probes, obviously, to try to get rid of it. But the millisecond that one of his probes, like his probes popped off of touching the geyser, Zest turned around and grabbed the gas. So slows down his gas.
And he puts a pylon over the natural because you end up with this buildup of excess minerals.
Yes.
And usually the most logical thing to do is throw down a Nexus and try to navigate the game that way. But he's basically done a double denial.
Yeah.
It's double jeopardy, I think is the correct word.
And look, he wants to... he wanted to steal it again, but he couldn't quite do it. Good try, good try. I love that he stole a gas, too. He's got 5 gas. He can bring that home with him.
Double jeopardy. What was that line that they said in Arrested Development? It's like, you can't go to jail twice for like doing the same crime twice. And they're like, that's not true.
Yeah. You can't be tried twice, right? If you get like...
what was... I can't remember what it was. It was something like...
Yeah, no, but I remember, but like what double jeopardy actually is like you can't be tried twice.
Right. I think so. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You're like way too into this. I don't care. Like,
I love that because you brought it up. That's amazing. You're like, way into this. Way too into this.
Calm down and talk about the game. My God.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Oh, it's really funny. I got tears in my eyes.
Trying to make people feel bad and stupid is like one of the funniest things in my opinion. I don't know. It shows our defunct childhoods, man. Sit here and be mean to each other while talking about a video game.
Watching our adolescent brains in action.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, where are we at here? SOS, the Twilight, and Robo. We have Oracle over on the side of Zest.
Yep, gets the block off. It's Void Ray here for Zest. That's very exciting.
But he has the Oracle and now Void Ray. So, like, I think that's a very defensive Void, right?
I believe so, yeah.
It would be crazy if he tries to do some sort of Void attack, but
a lot of this seems to be hinged on not showing the Void for a long time.
You know, I mean, Zest is...
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Well, he's not going to see the Void necessarily.
Oh, well, you know, he actually is going to have 4 Adepts. So when you have 4 Adepts, you're actually okay against this.
Yeah.
Because Adepts are the only thing that kill Adepts quickly enough to not massacre your own line. But, okay, so he makes a Void, and he has a Robo being made. So I wonder... Yeah, second Void. Oh, this is very exciting. So Void Ray Disruptor is a thing. It is a thing. I think Hearthstone is the only player that actually used it back in its day, but, like, they kind of complement each other pretty darn well. I hope that's what he's going for. That would be super cool.
Nice. Catches that one probe.
Was it nice, though?
It was not nice.
No. Did you see that last piece of the Oracle do a kickflip down in the swamp? Like, damn, look at that. And it's not even going to hurt when it lands because it's a swamp.
Look, that's some double jeopardy right there, am I right?
You can't kill that Oracle twice for getting that probe. That's for sure. Oh, boy. All right, so is he actually going Immortal Void Ray? And now he's making a Forge. That's interesting. I mean, that's a pretty heavy anti-Stalker build, right? Blink Stalkers aren't going to do too much against Immortal Void Ray. Zest really bringing out a special build here.
Yeah, this is exciting.
You sound excited. That's how I could tell.
This is exciting.
Wow.
Wow. We're having fun, man. We're having
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know. I'm not into this anymore. Like,
oh, God.
So he's going to do his scout here. It's so funny, man.
It really is.
Oh, he blinks in. And now he's going to, of course, see the Void Rays. That surprise is over. How much damage can he do here? He's probably going to have to actually recall back.
He's going to lose some there for
that
sure.
was actually terrible.
Yeah, it didn't really do that much. But honestly, his Stalkers aren't going to do much in general. He needs to get off of Stalker production now. So after killing off those, going to go ahead, take the third base. I think that's a great choice. Charge is on the way for SOS. No third Nexus as of yet. But he is adding a lot of gates.
Is there an opportunity that was lost now because he came out with those Stalkers? Because this third base is coming up immediately. We don't have the third base started yet for SOS. He is getting more gates, which seems to signal he could have a timing attack. But is there a chance this doesn't work? I mean, he lost half of the Stalkers diving into the main there. Got something like 2 probes.
Yeah, well, like, I think Zest should be able to hold. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. The 2 Adepts, they'll get in. It's never too late for 2 Adepts to ruin a game.
Yeah. Is he going to actually get to the main there? Yeah, he does.
Oh, man.
All right, how about 3 Adepts? How do they do against 1 Adept, Artosis?
Yeah, they do fine.
Okay.
7 probes, though, is pretty significant. A lot of gates did finish up there, and he's going into his charge slots. We did get a little bit of a hiccup there for Zest. He definitely needs something other than what he's showing here, right? Because, like, we might just see, like, Archon Zealot with just a little group of Stalkers with it come up for an attack, and that's going to be very hard for him to hold with this weird, small technical army he has. Like, look at that army. What is that, the Avengers?
Which one's Hawkeye, then?
It's the 2 Sentries.
Yeah, imagine being a superhero you fight with a bow. It's like, what are you, a caveman? Like,
cavemen didn't have bows, did they?
Oh, well, the badass
What are you, an
ones
archer?
did.
He's like, well, yes, exactly.
He's like, yes, I fight with a bow and arrow. I'm literally exactly an archer.
picks off one of the Hawkeyes. But, like...
Need more.
I don't know. It feels to me like in this game, if it keeps going this way, Zest is going to be fine. Because if he just goes like Archon Charge Lot,
yeah,
he has the Immortal advantage, right? SOS, does he have any Immortals?
I don't believe he does.
I don't
think
believe
he actually
so.
did a tech leap and did not get that.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Because their economies are very similar. If you have like a bigger, quicker economy than your opponent, then you can actually go for this like Gateway Man style where you're just on like Charge, Blink, Archon. And sometimes you can roll, but if your opponent has like kind of a similar army but also Immortals, like in ground versus ground, if we're not talking about disruptors, Immortals are the winner. They beat everything for price, everything. And especially all the things that your opponent has, you know?
We've got Raver Archons with this skin here.
Oh.
Yeah. They're ready to dance and party all night. The attack's coming through now, through the rocks. Is this going to do anything?
No.
I feel like right now Zest is just going to be ready. He's going to hold this and shut it down.
Yeah, there's too many Archons. His +2 might even finish right before it hits here. Yeah, look. +2. Done.
Look at
Back up, though. Back up, though. This is not where we fight.
This is Mecha Archons.
But yeah, that army, like, SOS right now needs to, like, go Disruptor or something. Because...
Yeah, well, he needs something to counter this, and I think Disruptor is probably the right unit to get for sure.
Honestly, he needs to, like, wing around the map right now and counterattack because there's no way he's going to beat this army. This army is just better than his.
Okay, he's going to easily be able to wipe out the 4th base here. Does he push further ahead than that?
Well,
this is an
the
easiest cancel I've ever seen in my life. He did use up the charges.
Yeah, but they'll be back, Tasteless. They always
come back.
Back.
It's not a one-time use.
It's a spell at one time.
Okay, this is a commitment.
Well, that's. I mean, it's
this
a good arc from SOS.
Pretty insane arc, but there's a lot of.
Yeah, look at the Immortals.
Yeah,
it's just not even. Like the Immortals just beat everything, man.
Yeah, the War Prism is perfectly kept alive. That is going to be the game, man. Zest just smashing, honestly, just bashing SOS this game.
Yeah, if you're going to skip Immortals, you need to be very forward. You need to, like, hit a timing or do tons of counterattacks and buy time to jump up the tech tree a bit. And unfortunately for SOS, he was unable to do that.
Excellent play there. A little bit, I don't know, I got some question marks around me when I'm looking at SOS's play right now. That just did not seem to be a great game from him.
Well, he did get hiccuped by the offensive gas, right? Like they were both trying to cheese each other a little bit.
That is true. I guess I'm used to seeing him kind of wiggle out of stuff like that. We're going to go to GSL Nautilus for Game 2.
Yeah, that was Zest's map pick.
That's right.
I'm interested to see what he's going to do. Like, will he do a Crazy Nexus first? SOS probably learned something there from the game against Trap.
I think we all learned something from Trap doing that in this game. What if they both go Nexus first, too? I mean, what is the sequence of stuff from there? 3 Nexus.
Yeah,
you
gotta
become
go
Zerg players after that. Our game's loaded up, guys. Game 2 with SOS versus Zest.
2021 GSL Season 1. Team NV, SOS. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
They both go Gateway, Tasteless.
Yeah, look at that. What are they doing? Where are their Nexuses? Oh my god!
Into the center here.
Yeah, no, the SOS did this in the previous game, right? But he stayed there.
Yeah, he's actually just going to cross scout.
Oh, that's fine.
And he actually catches Zest's probe coming out and turning to the left. So when he scouts here, he'll know that Zest is top right.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we don't really get to talk about cross spawn scouts since we don't normally have 4-player maps, but
you know,
it is a Usually it means that you have one build set up if they're in the diagonal position, so you want to find that out first. And if they're not, that's fine. You're going to play a much, probably more aggro game or something intended for a close player.
And actually, the acceleration zones here were set up so that...
Oh, so that it's all the same distance travel time, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So
Thank
the
you.
fact that if they scout on the same time, then SOS only has to scout 2 bases because you'll see your probe in what direction it's coming from or going to.
Oh, that's genius.
So I think that he might have set that up like that. Because if those accelerator zones weren't there, then the math gets like really complicated when you have to leave with your probe and everything. So I think maybe that could be a thing from SOS. All right, so Zest is getting a Sentry, which generally means that we're going to see an expansion coming out of him. 2 Stalkers from SOS. No buildings in the map, right? Yeah. Looks like both sides want to expand. Zest might put a pylon there. Yeah. 2 Stalkers coming out. Both sides going double sentry here.
Yeah, to start things off. So those Stalkers actually going to go back. Just wanted to drive that away. And you know, this is another game where we have a pylon blocking here. It's Zest doing it again here. Zest, honestly, he's the one, if you covered the IDs up, I would think that he's SOS here. But immediately we have this Nexus coming down. We want to watch and basically see, does SOS decide to commit to some kind of attack, or does he just expand himself?
Yeah, I mean, if you're making sentries, you kind of have to go for the Nexus, I think. Sentry's just not going to do much for you offensively at this point. So in comes the Hallucinated Phoenix, actually flies into the Stalkers, but gets around. Very importantly. If you lose that first Hallucinated Phoenix, it is like the worst feeling in the world.
Forge coming down now for Zest.
And he loops back around. He actually doesn't check the left side of the base. Oh, yeah, no, he did see the Twilight. Never mind. I was going to say, where was that? This one gets the Scout on the Twilight and the Forge. So here from SOS, we get to see, like, is he going to throw down a counter Forge?
Yeah.
If you don't go Forge, you're just saying, okay, well, you're going to have a sick +2 timing, right?
Yeah, or if you don't get a Forge, I have some kind of other tech I'm going to use to try to punish you. And this is not going to be about having just a better, more robust army. I mean, when you go for the Forge, you're basically saying, I want to play a more well-rounded game.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have a lot of different options. Where I don't have anything that I clearly want yet. And in this case, it's going to be SOS going with DTs and Stalker-centric pressure.
Yeah.
So basically, the pressure that's coming here is a bit more of an illusion, right? Blink is coming too, but the idea is behind all this. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Okay, I didn't expect that to happen, but behind all this, you're pretty much hoping the DT rush comes in and gets him in the end. But
okay, the one thing about losing those 2 Stalkers, actually, I don't think that's as bad as I thought it was. Oh, you started a cannon? Oh, that's hilarious.
And a robo right next to it.
Oh my God. Yeah. And SOS sees both of those, so it's like, oh, so the DT is not going to work again.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, he has way less hallucinations now after 3 force fields to scout the DT, but it doesn't matter because he gets the cannon. He's not going to be greedy.
Well, it seems like he's basically blind countering it.
Yeah. Well, like SOS has done it almost every game gone.
He's doing DT too much. DT you want to rarely throw in, so that it's rare enough that a lot of times it'll work. You know, if you become known as a DT guy, I think especially in StarCraft 2, it just, you're going to get countered, blind countered more often, you know? Because so many of these matchups, especially PvP, it's about cutting corners and trying to figure out, okay, what do I need right now and what can wait? And I think he's done DTs enough. I think the blind cannon is brilliant. He's going to have the robo out. And this is some pretty, you know, bunk tech right now. I mean, there's not going to be opportunities for SOS here.
Yeah. He's now getting his robo, so he can get into Immortal production, which I think is going to be pretty important. I really don't want to see him try to go like Gateway Man again.
Yeah.
It's that style, it's like super fun, but it's really hard to actually make it work. Immortals are just strong. So Zest walking out with a pretty scary force.
He's got that observer with his army. Not that I think there's even a DT in this game.
Well, I think when they get the detection, it's probably best not to overdo DTs.
Here's one. Push is going to be coming here as well. Now, maybe this one DT can get in there and do some damage. There was a cannon. There was a chance he could just run by. Ooh, got to be careful.
Yeah, there's +1 right now and more Stalkers for Zest. Not feeling very confident about SOS's chances here. I think it's going to look like some other games we've seen.
The Warp Prism's in an extremely safe location here. The fight continues on over the Nexus. A battery does finish, allowing for some recharges. Some of these Stalkers in the back are not attacking.
Great force fields. More Warpins, though, coming out of Zest. He just has more. 16 against 9 right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if that DT did any damage, but I don't see enough probe kills for it to matter.
Well, he has a DT on the army. He picked off the observer.
Oh.
But it's not really, I don't think it's enough, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just so many Stalkers. You can kill everything here. And I think that's going to be game, man.
Yeah.
Zest just smashes SOS again. GG.
Another unfortunate result for SOS. He has not made it out of the first round of Code S last year or so far this year. Zest does go up, and that actually gives us a dynamite round of 8 match of Rogue versus Zest on that top side of the bracket. The winner of that, I think, is favored to go to the finals. And yeah, that's kind of crazy. If I was Rogue, I wouldn't be super hyped about that.
Yeah, I am bummed a little bit that SOS just isn't performing well. I mean, he's not the guy that is kind of the fourth race or the mind bender that just can pull anything off and is revolutionizing not just the way we see StarCraft 2, but RTS in general. This is not his year so far.
I hope he does better later into the year.
Yeah, me too.
Generally, he does peak towards the end, but it didn't happen last year. And, you know, it's...
With overwhelming power, Zest defeats SOS, and he moves on to round of 8. Congratulations. Thank you. TY, Stats, and you are going to be going to the military this year, and you're the only survivor out of the 3. How do you feel after winning that match? Well, in terms of skills, TY and Stats should be in the round of 8 too, but this is quite surprising. And since this is the last season for me, I'm going to have to try really hard. And you went to the IEM finals. And it's really good to see you performing so well in the Code S as well. So these the games these days, are they going well for you? Well, in practice, yes, the games are going well for me. And today I had the confidence to move on to round of 8. And you played against SOS for the second time. The first time you lost to him, but in the second time you were able to pull off the revenge. In the first match, you know, things didn't go according to my plan. That's why I lost against him. So as long as I didn't make the same mistake, I knew that I could beat him. And Zest, I'm sure the fans are rejoiced to see you playing so well on stage today. So this season, what is your goal for this season? Well, I did want to move out of the group as the first place. So in the round of 8, I'm going to play against Rogue. And I think the further matches after Rogue will be easier for me. And I believe I can go to the finals if I beat Rogue. So are you saying that your goal is the finals this season? Well, you know, Maru on the other side of the bracket, he's a hard opponent. So I think this side of the bracket is easier for me. So let's see how Zest plays in the round of 8. So before we go off, anything you want to say, Zest? So this might be my last season, so I'm going to try really hard. And today I did not show satisfactory result, but I'm going to try harder in the next match. Once again, congratulations, Zest. Thank you.
All right, guys, that does it for the round of 16.
Yes, indeed it does. Let's take a look at how it went tonight. Trap was first out. He definitely looked the best by a good margin. And then Zest in second place definitely looked second best by a good margin.
Yeah. Again, I'm a little bit bummed that SOS doesn't advance, but look, his games are not. There's no reason he should be advancing if he's playing games like this. Honestly, seems like even his decision making is a little bit off, and I always felt like that was his strongest suit. Was the way that he would approach the game. Armani, I think he put up a good fight. I think he's a strong player, but these other players are just that much better. And so here's our round of 8.
Yeah, look at that. Day 1, which will be on Monday. Bunny versus Dream, which is just crazy that one of them is going to be top 4. And then Rogue versus Zest, which could be a finals absolutely anywhere that there is. Down at the bottom, Day 2, 1 week from today. Hurricane versus Maru and Innovation versus Trap. That's definitely a more stacked side of the bracket. And I feel like the top 4 tastes, it's like a Terran player versus, like, it's a sick top 4 is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, it looks like Maru is going to probably make it. Trap probably over Innovation.
Maybe Innovation,
Rogue
though.
or Zest, and already those 3 is like, oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. And then you've got Bunny in the top 4.
It might well happen. He is having the season of his life right now.
He's playing extremely well, and he's a guy where, we don't normally have deep in a tournament, so that's exciting. We're going to be back on Monday. Again, guys, we're always on Monday and Thursday now. No more Wednesday, no more Saturday for us. It's going to be Bunny versus Dream, a fantastic TVT, and then we're going to get the other 2 races in there with Rogue versus Zest.
Yeah, that is going to be really exciting because Rogue or Zest could end up winning this tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling it's going to be another Rogue GSL.
It very well may be.
Every time Rogue wins a tournament I cast, I'm like, of course that was going to happen. Why do I not just always say Rogue's going to win?
Yeah.
He's been so strong and so consistent. And when he plays, he looks untouchable.
Dude, already his accomplishments are so much. To win another GSL, that's like, we're getting into the nosebleeds, truly. Anyways, this is a fun day, and our round of 8 is super exciting. Cannot wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. Also, day 1 of ASL is out now.
That's
from us.
right.
Check that out.
It's on the Africa TV YouTube channel,
yes.
So definitely go give it a look-see.
So if you want to keep watching StarCraft, go check that out.
Yeah.
And more to come as well.
Yeah, we're going to have episode 2 out very, very shortly here. So, yeah, check them out.
And I'm trying to think, is there anything else to announce? I guess we already said that the show has been moved to a different time now. I don't know.
No, that's about it. I mean, times are good. We have the round of 8, and then, we'll go into a super tournament after this tournament's done, and so on and so forth.
We still can't have anybody in the studio yet. We're still waiting for everybody to get vaccinated out here. Korea's lagging behind a little bit on that, so hopefully we'll be back to normal out here soon. We have gone for over a year. Over a year without audiences here.
Yeah, it's getting strange.
It's getting weird. I'm going to be nervous when it's full of people here. I'll be like, this is too many people here. I haven't been in gatherings. Yeah, and we can't close the show till the Koreans do, so we just kind of sit here.
Yeah.
It's your turn, Artosis.
We already talked about everything, right? Like, we already had all of our laughs and everything. I'm pretty much done with you for the day. I'm like,
I'm glad I got to shut you down when you tried to answer my question.
Yeah, no, that was good. I liked that a lot.
That was fun.
But yeah, I mean, I guess coming up, we have Valorant this weekend.
We'll be casting that.
And then Monday is, of course, the round of 8, which is going to be great.
I'll be doing some PUBG casting here with Paper Thin very soon here. We're getting started on that as well.
Yeah.
So we're pretty booked out here.
Lots of e-gaming going on.
Lots of e-gamery.
Pro gamers playing for prize money and glory, and that's what you want to see.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not just about the glory. You got to get a little bit of that prize money too, Artosis. Yeah. I'm so glad we can't close the show right now. I'm glad we're just in limbo with no moment of knowing when it's going to end.
That's the best part.
That's all the time we have. I do know. We love you guys. Take care. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
unbreakable. I called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right. I didn't wanna lie about it, but